Welcome, Internet, to the PSVG podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev, and I am joined, as usual and as always, by my main man, Donnie, Eat the Hype Reese, and Delvin, whatever the hell he's calling himself today, Cox.
I was
How
told if
y'all
I
doing
don't
today?
say Cadillac on Mars on this podcast, I'll be fired. So Cadillac on Mars,
You're still on that podcast? You haven't already been fired? That's still a thing you
not
do?
yet. I'm only on that podcast because I promoted on this podcast.
It's a damn shame. We are also joined by none other than the Platinum Princess herself, all the way from PlayStation XP, Miss Hayley Nicole Milller. How are you this evening?
I just finished work, so I'm doing all right.
Awesome.
That's
Straight
good.
off to work, right into the podcast. That's how it be sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delvin, you should pay somebody to play the role as Delvin on the other podcast, like fake Diesel.
That's a good idea. That's
just
a
have
really good
fake-
idea.
Yeah, fake Delvin's like the imposter. And then
I
people
am
are like,
into
who
this
is this? Is it
idea.
the real Sting? Is it the fake Sting? You need NWO Delvin to just
like this
appear on
idea.
other podcasts.
Just going.
Look at these
Nice.
lovely
Sounds
emojis that Rebecca
Like
has
something you should do. Yeah.
dolled up
Yeah.
the channel with.
I like them.
They look great.
They're amazing.
I love this. I'm going to take a screenshot of this as it layers over Delvin's face.
Which one? Delvin wasn't the actual fuck man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should
yeah.
be like my trademark.
For our
Nailed
audio
it.
listeners.
Hi, Rebecca.
Kyle the Pug says Delvin wasn't the actual fuck man, and it's right perfectly under Delvin. So, because honestly, that's a question we can ask every single week for you.
That is accurate. Very
I
accurate.
mean, you're just a special individual, but hopefully we get to see fake Delvin soon, because that'd be awesome. We can just bring him here too, because he's probably gonna have a better name than whatever this nonsense is that you have.
Yes. I've been threatened, so I have to put it Cadillac on Mars. You know,
I mean-
it comes out every month or something like that.
What's
I don't
that
know when
again?
it comes out.
What's that show again? Say it again.
Cadillac on Mars, and it's one Cadillac, as I've been told to say.
Oh,
Because
it's just one today. Just one Cadillac.
if I say multiple Cadillacs, I may be tortured or something like that.
I mean, you don't have to do anything. You're a human being who has free will.
No, that's not how that works in life. That's what they tell you. You have a choice to do whatever you want to do in life, but then life tells you no. That's not how that works.
Chuffy's like, nah, Doc, I run this.
Yes.
Damn shame. Damn shame. Well, welcome everybody. I hope you guys are all having a lovely day, culminating in this wonderful, wonderful nonsense of a podcast that we have for you tonight. And let's get it started as we always do with what you playing. And Haley, since you are the guest, what you been playing?
Not a lot, but some decent stuff. So it's been pretty busy at work. It's tax season, so that's fun. In fact, I have required overtime next Friday and Monday. So fun. Anyways, I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077, the PS5 update, which I'm still enjoying a lot. Just taking my time going through it, especially since I have to do a new playthrough since trophies don't count. Which, you know, it is what it is. I just finished Happy Together, which is like one of the first missions you can encounter after completing Act 1. No spoilers for anyone who maybe have waited till the PS5 and Series X versions to jump in. After Act 1, a lot of the side missions open up, and this one is like right by the starting apartment. So I just finished that. Actually managed to get the good ending for this quest for once, because I've done it a couple times, and I've always gotten the bad ending. So I got the good ending for it. The other thing I've been playing, which I've played a lot more of this week, is the Grand Theft Auto 5 expanded and enhanced, which is not very expanded, except in the fact of DualSense features. 60 FPS, very nice. The DualSense features, however, are actually some of the weirdest implementation I have. If you just idle in a car, you can feel it. Like, it will rumble the entire controller if you just sit there idling. Like, if you...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So, like, I was doing a mission. Like, I'm starting the story from scratch. I could have imported one, but I just started over. So, like, I just finished the Vangelico heist. And so then, like, did all the stuff with Trevor. Especially in the desert, you really feel the engine idling. So that's nice. the adaptive triggers for guns are nice as well. Not as pronounced as say like Borderlands 3 was with it, or like Destiny might be. I don't know if they have haptics or not. I haven't played. Okay, so it's not as pronounced as that, but it's there. You feel it in the shotgun for sure, but you definitely are only gonna really notice that feedback from the triggers on the shotgun. I don't really notice it when using like a pistol or an assault rifle, but it's there and it feels great. I'm not playing on the ray traced mode just because I watched the Digital Foundry video, and you get better frame retention on the standard performance mode. So
nice, very nice. Yeah,
I have not played that
dabbled
yet. I heard it's
teeny tiny bit with it, and I played in the ray trace mode with the performance, and it looked great. It felt great. I'll probably go back to it at some point because that game, because of where it's set, always feels like me going home. So, I need my LA fix. Jump into GTA 5, and it's very nice, very nice. What about you, Delvin? What have you been playing?
I haven't been playing much of anything because I've been so busy doing dad stuff and like fixing things and all this type of crazy stuff. I've been doing errands and
taxes.
Tours. Yeah, taxes. You know, things
Gotta
we do.
Taxes. Yeah.
Only I played with Elden Ring actually.
yeah,
I played a little bit of Horizon, but I'm tired of talking about
God,
Horizon.
I'd rather do taxes.
I feel like doing taxes is like playing Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's a gamble. you may go do good, or you may just get the shit knocked out of you by the government. but yeah, so far I like it. I got to the open world part of it. It's a nice open world. It's cool. I saw the first boss in the open world. I guess he's a mini boss, or whatever you want to call it. I saw him. I tried him one time. Said, nope, I'm not doing this. He smashed me super quick. Like, nope, not doing this. I went and got my runes, and I've been walking around the open world killing things to get stronger. I kind of like the feel of it. It's not. I feel like it's approachable because I'm not having too like. Long as I stay away from that, because it's a big. I don't even call him a boss. It's it's like a little boss on like this big like knight on this horse. That's as soon as you get in the open world, he's right there just staring at you, and you don't have to fight him. So I kind of like have been going around the area just killing creatures and things like that, trying to get stronger so I can build myself to fight him, and it's kind of fun. I'm kind of enjoying that aspect of it. So as long as I don't fight that guy ever, I'll be okay. But
is this your first Soulsborne type game, or?
No, I played Sekiro for a little bit. I played Bloodborne, and this one feels better to me. I like the open world aspect of it, at least so far what I've seen, because you start off almost like Demon Souls and things like that in these corridors and like this dungeon area and stuff like that, and you keep playing until you get to the open world. And once you get to the open world, it's not like it tells you where to go. You just kind of go out there and do what you want to do. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. You just kind of just going. Yeah, it's some goofy guy in the front tells you something that I don't know what he's saying. It sounds like something Token would say. And you just go out there and do what you want to do. And I'm like, this is kind of pretty cool. I like it so far. So I want to get cooler armor to see, because I look like literally like a barbarian.
What starting class did you pick?
I don't know. A warrior, I want to say it is. Warrior hero, I think they call it, or something like that.
Well, there's 10 of them, so.
All I know is my man don't have no shirt on. He just have like a loincloth and an axe. I'm like, all right. Man,
so I'm going to go ahead and be Conan and call it a day.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't think you need to get some armor or something to go through this and that like that? Nah, okay, that's fine. But it's fun so far. I like it. It's one of those games that I feel like after I finish Horizon, I'll get into and I get lost in the world. So that's a big positive of it. It's not as hard as people make it out to seem so far. Even when I was fighting that boss. Yeah, even when I was fighting that boss, I wasn't like, I didn't feel overpowered. Hold on. That is accurate.
For our audio listeners, somebody in chat said it. So what I'm hearing is Delvin is picking on weak things and running away from bosses.
That is accurate, yes.
Accurate.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. Like even when I was fighting that boss, I was like, this is it. I can see how I could beat this thing. I just need to get my armor up and get my stats up a little bit, and this wouldn't be too hard. So overall, I like it so far.
Don't forget, duck and roll.
Duck and roll. Unless you got the fat roll, then you're gonna have problems.
I'm not good at parrying. I know that for a fact. I've tried and I'm like, no, this doesn't work for me. In that game at least.
Roll it will be.
Yes.
Absolute shenanigans. Well, I hope you stick with it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in like a month or two to see if you actually stuck with it and played more of it or just said, nope, moving on.
I think I will. I wish. I don't know if they have an archer class, like you could like when you can have like an archer instead of starting off with. If they did,
did you not look through the classes? Because I'm pretty sure one of those exists.
I just kind of went to the one I thought looked cool and said, let's do this.
Like, shirtless barbarian is the one that looked cool to you. You sure you went through all 10 of these classes? I feel like you just picked the first one you saw.
Pretty much.
Knowing Delvin, probably.
Pretty much.
Whatever the default is. Whatever the default is.
I feel like if I would have got the archer, I would be able to beat that that knight guy on the horse because I can just stand back and shoot at him and run away. But I may look at that later. It wasn't that hard to get to that area, so if I wanted to start back over, it's feasible. There you go.
Good to know. Good to know. Like I said, I'll be checking back on you to see your progress. We're gonna have a progress check every week with you and Elden Ring, just so we can get shenanigan stories, because I'm sure there will be lots of nonsense on your end from this game.
A lot of people are gonna be disappointed. Looking for that progress.
Oh man, it'll just be a quick segment. Elden Ring check-in. Where are you? That's it. Real simple.
Still at that night. I hit him one time and ran.
I believe it. All right, Donnie, what about you, bro? What you been up to?
What about you? What have you been up to?
I always go last, but fine. Mine is real simple. It's something nobody wants to hear. I've been playing Destiny. It's been great. I finally beat the goddamn campaign yesterday. We did not raid like I said we wouldn't because we suck. We play this game and we're terrible. We are the most uncoordinated bunch of people you have ever come across. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Just playing with my homies. We were just running around, acting a fool, trying to kill things and not getting anything done because the legendary mode is hard as hell. And I finally finished the campaign last night. The story is incredible. Everything has been turned on its head. I cannot wait to see where it goes. And now we are in the end game. So time to grind some more, level up, play all of these different missions, gather some gear, and just keep murdering things. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get back to it tonight and play some of the stuff I haven't had a chance to play. So very simple, very quick update. Destiny, baby.
Nice.
I'm all about it.
Well, I'll have to continue my story from last week. I did jump into Valhalla, and I'm playing Dawn of Ragnarok. I did level up my gear so I could take it with me. So before I played, I think it took me about 6 hours to reach the level. So I was just continuing the story and hunting down zealots and stuff until I reached the cap, and then I jumped in. And I'm having a good time. I'm looking forward to putting in more hours this weekend. It's really different and fresh in a good way for me. I kind of wish it was. I said this. I went on Secret Friends Unite this week, and I said it on their podcast. I kind of wish it was like, I want them to make a Lord of the Rings game, because the Dawn of Ragnarok does feel very Lord of the Rings-ish. You know, they're like ravens that are on fire, and there are these giant like dwarven halls cut and etched into the side of the mountains and stuff, and these huge like, you know, statues. It just has like that big grand fantasy feel, and I'm having a blast. I really am. It's the combat. I don't know if it's harder. I think there's just a lot more of it. Like the camps and stuff are just, you know, bigger, grander, you know, more dense. Now when I'm going in and fighting, I felt like with Valhalla, like you jump into a camp and you know, like they'd have a camp that had, you know, say 20 people in it, but they were pretty spread out. This you'll jump in and it's more like almost like Arkham in a way that you'll have 10, 15 people like just kind of surrounding you, at least in the first couple camps that I encountered.
Yeah.
So the combat is crunchier. There's more of it, which is fun. I like being actively engaged. I knew there were superpowers.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is. I mean, it makes sense, but what I just I wasn't like following a whole lot of this, like as they were announcing it, leading up to it. Like I just kind of knew it was coming. I knew it was on my birthday, right? It was like Dawn of
Mhm.
Ragnarok, March 10th, and I was like, oh, it's cool. I'm gonna play it. Really wasn't expecting like the world that they dropped you off into. It's like this giant lush world. Like I said, these giant like dwarf halls, these huge pillars that are floating in the sky, this giant I don't know, Stranger Things thing that's like taken over the horizon over here on one side. You've got these big monuments and Zenith's like over here, like I'm riding an elk. Like, it's just very mythical and fantastical in a really, really cool way. It feels like I said, just different, and which is
They took the height cap out too. You can get pretty high now, even
Oh, wow.
without the bird climbing. Like you'll see like a big gold and white mountain in the distance, and you can climb to the top of it.
I do
In
know that
fact,
you've got that like in your inventory. It tells you you've got that whatever, that super buff or whatever. You can just like jump off of everything.
yeah. If you've got 5 pieces of divine quality gear, which is the new gear quality, but I like you see those floating spires in the sky.
Yeah.
You can reach those.
Yeah.
And there's an achievement for reaching all of them.
And that's like the craziest thing is that like it was just it's very impressive, and it really just scratches that adventure like itch for me when I got up there. And you play through the prologue and they bring you out and they walk you up to this very Zelda Breath of the Wild type of cliff, and you just look at the world in front of you and you're like, oh shit, here we go again. I'm about to do this all over again. Yeah, like I'm riding elks and stuff. I'm like, man, this is great. Like this is just really, really good. I'm about to just do this a bunch. So I've been playing a lot of that. Basically all of my free time has been doing that, but I did take a minute to go karting. I checked out the new Mario Kart 8 tracks. I'll let the Nintendo Shack go over them, more detail, but I liked them. It was more Mario Kart. I said this on the Secret Friends Unite. So if you guys listen to both those podcasts, I apologize for being redundant, but I do. It's not like it's a minor gripe, but I wish they did a better job with the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. Like I knew it was coming out. I downloaded the update. I opened the game. I went in to go play it. I went to the Grand Prix. I went and found the new track. I clicked on it. I was like, you need to be a Nintendo Switch Online member to do this. And I was like, oh, I am. And they were like, well, like, do you want to click this? And I was like, yeah. And it just took me back out of the game and like open the app. And then I had to navigate like through the menus to find the Nintendo Switch Online like perks menu where they have like this part of the thing. I'm sure if I went to the eShop, I could find it if I searched for it or whatever. But then I had to download it and then wait for that and then jump back in. I was like,
oh,
kind of wish. So like Nintendo has a DRM check when you play games. Like you'll click it and be like, hey, we're checking to see if you can play this. Kind of wish like NSO should just be wrapped up into that. And at the very least, if I'm in the game and it's like, hey, do you want to download this? Like do the check there.
Yeah.
Like don't send me out and do it again.
Download.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just kind of a run around.
Do you want to download it?
It's not hard.
Yeah.
I don't want to oversell it. It's not hard. But at this day and age where we are, it also, like when you buy like I didn't have to do the Valhalla. I just opened Valhalla and it was like, here's the expansion, go play. Like that's kind of
this is Nintendo we're talking about.
I know. Like, and that's why I didn't want to go too far.
So sad.
That ain't an excuse though. They got to be a little bit more better than that. It's a little.
That wasn't an excuse.
Yeah.
If you're gonna push the subscription, like I feel like that's kind of basic type stuff. Like if you're doing
right,
and if you're doing the DRM check, what a better time to like that should be a part of it. Like your DRM check should check that if you're a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber too. Like you could just wrap that into both things. I'm pretty sure those are probably the same servers.
Especially if Xbox and Steam and PlayStation and Epic can all do this while you have the game open.
It's not like there's a separate NSO server and a DRM ownership server. Like that's the same server. That's account services.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought that was I thought it was worth bringing up. But I played the tracks. I guess the important part is the gameplay, and it's great. It looks great. It plays great. I don't know. I didn't have crazy expectations, but it's just more Mario Kart, right? Like it's new Mario Kart, but I did feel like after, say I played it with Jack, maybe 20 minutes. After about 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, it's more Mario Kart. And I guess
I'm just waiting for you to rank all the new rankings. That's what
I'm not doing that.
Sweet Hanks rankings, baby. Let's go.
So after like 20 minutes, like I just kind of pulled up the other game that I'm playing, which I'll go into in a minute, and just like let the kids play. For whatever reason, maybe I just wasn't in the mood. It's not like, oh, it's like a brand new Mario Kart game. I didn't feel that way. I just felt like it's more Mario Karts, more stuff I've already played. So the game that I am playing, kind of on the side, is I've been feeling like that Zelda itch for a bit now since playing Breath of the Wild over Christmas for the third time. I was like, man, I really want to play a Zelda game. I don't want to go to Wind Waker yet. I'm still holding off for hope that it comes to the OLED one day. That'll be the best way to play that game. So I pulled out the 3DS and I started playing Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. And that's a great game. I won't go too far in detail, but it's been a great little couch game that I've been playing with me and the wife, are sitting on the couch watching TV and stuff, which I've done a lot of. I've been in like a movie kick. After like taking like 2 months, 3 months off of so we do Decade of Horror like leading up to October, right? And I watch so many scary movies for like that one podcast that I kind of have to like cleanse my palate. So I just went months without watching any, and now like that urge is starting to bubble back up. So I've been buying a bunch of horror movies. I've been watching horror movies like over the weekends and stuff. So I've been doing that. So I've been wanting something to just kind of play on the side, and that's a great game. If you guys never played it, Link Between Worlds is great.
So you're playing while you're watching the movies, like
sometimes depends on the movie.
I will never
like I played it while I was watching Jackass today because I don't need to like 100% focus on every word Jackass is saying.
I can't separate. Like
Gotta
it always
multitask, man.
amazes me.
I mean,
I can't.
What about podcasts while you play a game? You can't do that either.
I don't do that. I can't.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
It might as well not be on. Like I do not have the ability to divide my attention in such a way that I can pay attention to more than one thing. If I'm playing a game, whatever's in the background, it might as well not even be on. Like I just can't.
Weird.
Well, I don't usually do that. I usually while I'm watching TV, I'm building something like a shelf or that's what I've been doing all week, building shelves.
I do that a lot with cleaning. Every time I'm cleaning, I've got something on. Yeah.
That's how I finished watching Cuphead this past week. The whole season of that.
I can't do that.
If it's a very like engaging movie, then I'm not doing that, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
But if it's like a TV show, like my wife loves to watch TV, and half the time I'm barely paying any attention to the stuff she's watching. So I'm just kind of there. I'm just there to be present. So yeah, I bring my 3DS with me, and Link Between Worlds has been a lot of fun to go back to because this will be the second time that I've played it. First time that I've played it since it released. When it released, I wasn't as high on it as everybody else was because to me it was just Link to the Past, which is obviously what it's supposed to be. But like it's remixed, it's retooled, it's basically a remake, but it's new, it's different. But I think over the years have gone on as we've gotten like other Zelda games and ports, and like I think especially after what was the other Zelda game that we got, Link's Awakening. Link Between Worlds is way better than Link's Awakening. So as I've played other games, I'm just like, man, that game was probably a lot better than I even gave it credit for. Because to me, it just felt like I was playing something old. And I guess now that I'm playing it again with just a different time and place, I feel like I'm realizing how new it was. So I'm enjoying it. It's really, really good. So I'm doing that on the side.
Donnie, I just want to ask, was Jackass Forever on Paramount Plus now, or is it?
Yeah, I jumped in today for the trial for Game Pass and get the Game Pass perk, which is cool because Scream was also
which is how I watched it. So
so I'll get to watch the new Scream this weekend as well, and then the Halo show drops tomorrow, which is why I joined. So I wanted to make sure that Jack gets to watch the new Halo show, which apparently is good, right? That's what
I've heard reviews are pretty good.
So maybe I'll watch it with them. Maybe
I've heard all the ups and downs.
Some people
hate it.
So some people hate it because, and I quote, they haven't watched the show, but they're upset that the directors chose not to look at the source material. And by that, they mean the games.
That's not at all what I've heard, but it's people who've actually watched it and just didn't care for it.
As somebody who played the games, I don't think I could hold them to that. I don't think that's necessarily a story that needs to be told.
Exactly.
In television. Like, you guys can do whatever you want with Halo. That's okay. Don't worry about this. This isn't all that important. So yeah, I've just been playing, honestly, in all seriousness, I've really just been playing Valhalla. Like once I started, I got Ghostwire Tokyo, I got my pre-order, I downloaded it, it's there, and I just don't think I'm gonna play it for a while. which
I'm
is
gonna get to that
hilarious
one
because it's
as
like
soon as we start.
I can't, and like I'm gonna have to juggle Kirby with Valhalla. So Ghostwire Tokyo is just gonna have to sit on the side for a minute. But what I didn't fill out our notes because I've had a busy afternoon, but I completely forgot. What I almost completely forgot to mention is I bought my Steam Deck this week, which is the most
That's great.
exciting news. My number got called. Come on down. I am in for a 512 gigabyte Steam Deck, which is very
great.
exciting because the friend of
Johnny
mine that I'm
has
buying it
reached
from,
his final form.
they are setting it all up for me. So I'm even getting like the full service. So they're gonna do all the launchers, they're gonna do all the controller mappings, they're gonna do all the emulators and load all the ROMs. So when it is delivered to me, it'll just be ready to boot up and play. I'm very, very, very excited.
Excellent.
It's probably the most exciting thing that I've done this week. I cannot wait for my Steam Deck to arrive.
That's awesome.
I've got like a laundry list of games that I want to go back to. Like I'm kind of, I don't know.
Far Cry 5. It's coming.
That's a really good one. I feel like I'm in a different place, like in like the type of games that I'm wanting to play than I was maybe 5 years ago. So I'm kind of really excited to maybe give some games that I didn't play before another chance. Like I'm thinking of playing Deus Ex or maybe giving Dishonored another try.
Ooh, which Deus
do I
Ex?
do The Witcher 3, which I played and wasn't into, but like I feel like maybe now I'd be way more into it than I was then. After Valhalla and after Odyssey and Far Cry and all this kind of stuff I've done, and there's a lot of similarities there with The Witcher, and so I'm excited to I might just start playing some old games, which I don't necessarily think would be great for the podcast, but the Steam Deck is going to be a really fun way of maybe giving some games another try. Like I want to give Phoenix Rising another try. Dev, I bought Jedi Fallen Order. Who knows? Maybe I'll give it another try.
I'll be very interested to see your take on that.
Jedi Fallen Order. Actually, this is unrelated to games, but still cool. Cameron Monaghan actually got his own lightsaber handle, and they're selling it at the Star Wars.
My son wants one of these things so much. He wants a helmet and a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And I see the lightsabers like on TikTok and stuff, and I just thought it was special effects. Do they like legit like expand and glow like that, or is there like a tube? How does that work?
It's a tube, but like they do glow and like.
But when you see the hilt, I don't see a tube. Like, you connect it or something?
Like it depends because there's different tiers. There's different tiers.
He wants a really nice one, an expensive one. He's trying to do all these chores for it, and I asked him, I was like, "What the hell are you gonna do with that?" I was like, "What are you gonna do with a helmet?"
Chucky doll.
I was like, "What are you gonna do with a helmet?" And he goes, "I'm gonna wear it." I was like, "Outside, like to play?" And he was like, "No, just in my room." I was
What kind of helmet is it?
You're gonna sit in your room with a helmet on.
What helmet does he want?
You've not seen people with the Boba Fett helmets or the Mandalorian helmet?
But they just sit in their rooms by themselves with the helmets on?
I mean, why not?
Now you're right, Dev. He wants to put it on display. He's like his dad. He wants to have all these things, and I had to sit him down. And I was like, "No, here's the thing, son. You need to listen to me here. So your dad's got adult money, and he can buy Chucky dolls.
Yes.
You don't have adult money, and I ain't giving you mine. So I need you to focus on school. Go so you can have your own adult money, and you can live in Star Wars land all you want when you're 25. Right?
Yeah,
that's how that works." He did let me.
At least he's trying to do chores and stuff to be like, hey, this is what I want for
Yeah, but I got to think up some stuff for him to do. It's hard for me to find stuff that I'll pay him to do that just isn't just regular chores.
Which makes sense, yeah.
Chop down these trees, son. I'm saying.
Cut that yard.
Justice for Jack Part 2. You guys, he did let me trade in Arceus. We got rid of that. I was so happy. I just skipped. I skipped to GameStop. I was whistling. It put me in such a good mood. He's like, "Dad, you can finally trade this in." So really,
he played for a while.
That nonsense.
He did, yeah, he did. He did beat it. He told me he was going to do the end game and everything, and he just didn't.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about Arceus.
Look, you're not going to find any love for that game. I've watched him play it. It's bad. I honestly can't think of a game that's gotten such high praise that looked like it ran so poorly. Like it looked so bad. I was like, this is a joke, right? It's not just like little grass popping. There are entire mountains and stuff that popped in real time. Like, what the hell's going on here? It's like a PS2 game. But when I say those things, I get yelled at because Nintendo graphics don't matter. You're supposed to like the games.
That's not graphics. That's performance. Performance matters. Damn it!
God, it is bad.
Either way.
real bad.
Find Jack some chores so I can see his final form with him rocking some J's, a Boba Fett helmet, and a lightsaber.
He wants a clone trooper helmet, not stormtrooper. He wants a clone
Even better.
trooper
Clone
helmet.
troopers are
This
pretty cool.
is
And he wants
this is lovely.
he wants a beam saber or whatever.
A beam saber.
Do you mean
Lightsaber.
the dark saber? Or...
See, I'm thinking like beam katana. See, if it was No More Heroes, it'd be cool. I'd be like, now we're talking, but it's
See,
It's only
no,
called a
it's
beam
not.
katana
You're
because
wrong.
they couldn't use lightsaber
right,
legally.
but it's better.
The
No,
fact that you said
no.
beam saber, just that's
Dude,
bad. Bad
I
talk.
don't do Star Wars. You know,
You don't do the Star Wars.
It's okay.
look at John 32
We need to-
gameplay over performance. What gameplay? Like you sneak around and just
I've seen some of the
Look,
Pokemon cry.
guys,
And it's like,
I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of podcasts out there that tell you how great your purchase of Legends Arceus is. It ain't this one.
Yeah,
Now
no.
he's gonna tell you
These
that you
aren't the
wasted some money.
podcasters you're looking for.
Exactly. You don't do Star Wars.
Oh, man.
Excellent.
D-Life, have you lost your damn mind?
I was gonna say, can we mute him? Is there a way to just like kick him out completely? Because that shit'll get you banned. All
Yeah.
right?
Now you bugging.
He tripping. First Apple, now this. It's time for you to go, sir.
Yeah.
Ooh. On that note, Donnie, let's get into the news.
We've got a new one again. So once again, guys, if you want to be a part of the show, whip out that phone, record yourself saying something, and send it to me, just like Paul Calico did.
As the wheels keep turning, the doors keep opening. To the news!
Thank you so much, Paul Calico, for that amazing transition.
I like it.
So we got a lot of PlayStation news, which is great because we've got PlayStation folks on the show. Gran Turismo went offline last week. Gran Turismo 7 now has the dubious honor of having the worst Metacritic user score from a game from PlayStation Studios after the 1.07 patch took the game offline for a little over 30 hours, with 4,300 user reviews coming in to drop it down to a 2.3.
Congratulations. That's quite a compliment.
Not only did the game go offline and players weren't able to play because of the DRM policies that Gran Turismo 7, apparently places like you couldn't even play, like you could play one race basically offline. Like the entire game requires an online connection. So when the servers went offline, the game was basically rendered
dead.
unusable. They also nerfed ton of races payouts. Now, I'm not into the PlayStation ecosystem, so if you guys heard a different story, please correct me. But as I understood it, there was a Reddit thread that basically calculated the easiest way to farm credits.
Mhm.
And they had like a list of courses, like if you do these, this will net you the highest. And we talked about this when it came out, right? They turned the microtransactions on after reviews come out, which is a trend that we're seeing games with a lot of microtransactions do. Get those nice review scores that you turn on, and there was a lot of people complaining about microtransactions. So they're trying to figure out the best ways to earn credit without paying for it.
Yeah.
And apparently this patch nerfed that. Like all of those, that Reddit thread that I was looking at, like 95% of the tracks that they were listed, all of the credits were basically cut. Like what you used to get from this one now or less. So not only did they take the game offline for over a day, but when players came back to the game, they realized that they had to grind even more for the credits or pay for the credits. Creator Kazunori Yamochi responded in Gran Turismo 7, I would like to have users enjoy lots of cars and races even without microtransactions. At the same time, the pricing of cars is an important element that conveys their value and rarity. So I do think it's important for it to be linked with real world prices.
AKA fuck your house.
Basically.
That's so rude. Like, what
Not
the
even
If
hell?
I cared about the actual price of cars, now that was something I was paying attention to, I would probably be able to buy the cars. I'm playing a video game.
Listen,
Video
this
game.
Ferrari costs a shit ton in real life, so it's going to cost you a lot in the video game as well.
That's so stupid. Also-
I was a little, so I started retweeting this news that came out just because, like, anytime a game goes offline completely, it's like that's news.
Yeah, it's big.
And I remember on Discord, right, when the microtransaction stuff came out, I tried to post some of that, and then people didn't like that. They were like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, Kevin said
Right.
it wasn't a big
Of
deal.
course.
The only
Kevin
person who played it.
Yeah,
but he played it before they went live too.
Yeah, the person who reviewed it didn't have a problem with it because I could get everything.
I was a little taken aback when I saw that quote. I was like, "Yikes, man!"
Yeah, that's John Garvin Days Gone. If you want a sequel, buy the game at full price.
Dude, that is,
like
if Phil Spencer said this, people would have been up and on. Like some shit like this came out before.
Also, I should note, as of today, the user score for this game on Metacritic is no longer 2.3; it's 1.6.
Oof.
Don't worry.
Okay.
They're gonna start charging you for gas soon in the game.
So what came out after this was that Gran Turismo 7 players on Reddit have discovered that via PlayStation Now Remote Play, they have built a script that will race the courses for them so they can grind credits without paying for them afterwards. So we've got people writing computer scripts to complete races on their own to get credits so they can buy cars in Gran Turismo. After the Hogwarts Legacy state of play last week, they had to officially respond to people asking on Twitter to make sure there were no microtransactions included in the Hogwarts game.
Yeah, they also finally confirmed that game has no multiplayer element at all. There is no co-op, no multiplayer, no nothing.
So there were thoughts that it did?
There were thoughts that it was going to be co-op, but the developers...
I think after Gran Turismo, it was just on the minds of PlayStation Central players. They were like, hey, we're going to run into this too. So
fuck this up.
Gran Turismo's having a time, having an interesting week.
Sure is.
And I think to give them some credit, didn't they give players like 1 million credits or something when the game came back online?
Honestly, I don't know. You're asking I think the 3 people who haven't played the game.
I think when it came back online, they realized that was a pretty big fuck up, and they were like, "Here's some free money," but they still nerfed everybody else's courses. So
also 30 hours offline for your newly purchased $70 video game is wow.
That hurts. Yeah. So like the people that are really against like the digital future of video games, like here's a feather in their cap. You're hearing about this. This is going to be like, ground zero for them, the front line for years to come. And we're like, yeah, buy that game. It's just going to turn into
You could have had a physical. It wouldn't have mattered no way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway.
In more PlayStation news, PlayStation announced that they will buy Jade Raymond's Haven Studios. This is Sony's first developer in Canada. They're currently working on a live service game for PS5. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about this because I haven't been in the Discord all week. I said it last night on Secret Friends Unite. I think this is basically non-news.
Yeah, it's not news. There's no news about this game. Like Jade Raymond's great, but Jade Raymond hasn't made a game since Assassin's Creed.
I just like PlayStation funded like the seed project, the startup, right? So they basically announced that they're buying the studio that they've created.
Yep.
The studio is already making an exclusive. So
okay, I didn't know if that was just like an anti-Sony take. I was like, is that just me? Am I the only one that feels that way? Because I was like, no. Until we know what the game is, this is just really isn't news.
Yeah, it's not news because again, like I said, I love Jade Raymond's ideas. Like they're great, but honestly, Jade Raymond hasn't had a chance to work on like a full video game since like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, because they keep
what was the last game she worked on?
Oh, I'm gonna think. I think Black Flag. Honestly,
really?
Yeah,
probably.
That is so long ago.
Here, let me look this up because I'm on my computer, so it's a lot easier.
I want to say it was like 2017 or something like that with the last one.
Jade Raymond? Absolutely no. Black Flag was like 2014. Yeah. Games. Oh, okay. Sorry. Assassin's Creed Unity was the last Creed Jade worked on. She also worked on Far Cry 4 as the managing director. Then there was the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot and Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Okay.
Well,
maybe you guys are getting something akin to that. I'm interested in knowing what the game is. So look forward to that.
Yeah, the last 2 things she was working on were like
Shuttered
single player story games that got canceled because people thought that was no longer a thing. Yeah, she also did work on Watch Dogs.
Yes,
that is right.
Nice. And then in today's news,
this was funny.
PlayStation PS5 firmware got updated. They're bringing features like open and close parties alongside the PlayStation app and PlayStation Remote Play updates. They did announce that VRR is coming soon. I have not checked on this news since I saw it this morning, but when it went live this morning, it took people's PS5s offline. Has that been fixed?
A, it's been fixed. B, it did not take everyone's PlayStation 5s offline. It only took Europe and Japan offline.
Okay.
'Cause
I saw that it was taking.
I saw some people in New York also.
Yeah, I was going to say the people I follow. It wasn't that their PS5s are offline. It's
No,
that they
it was
couldn't access online services.
Yeah, it was telling them that they did not have PlayStation.
So like
Plus.
any online play, any
Mhm.
lobbies, PlayStation Plus stuff, like none of that stuff was operational.
It was operational, but also not. Like it was very random who it affected. Because this firmware update, I've been beta testing it for a while. So like I think Dev, you were as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Dev and I have had these features that went live today for a while. Not the VRR, but the new like UI updates, the new trophy tracker, the new open parties, which weren't really useful in the beta because nobody else had access to them. Like only people who were in the beta could see open parties. But now everybody can, so hopefully it'll be a more useful feature. Which is what we wanted because open parties were from the PS4. Like you could just hop into a party and everybody could join. But all of the UI stuff, the new share play features and stuff like that, and like that stuff's great. But it was just nice to see the beta tag on the bottom of my UI go away. But so when I updated it this morning at 8:30, I was able to like join parties, access multiplayer titles. Like I could boot GTA online just fine, and nothing gave me an issue. But other people like Jim Sterling, for example, booted up
Was he
Elden
also
Ring.
a beta tester?
No, Jim Sterling, James Stephanie Sterling, because that's what they go by now. They booted up Elden Ring this morning, and it was like, what's this about not being able to verify PlayStation?
And I was wondering if it had something to do with you just being a beta tester.
No, I don't think so, because there were other people I know who didn't have the beta update who could access stuff just fine.
Okay.
But they popped in Elden Ring, and Elden's like can't verify PlayStation Plus subscription.
But either way, it's been patched now, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Everybody, you're fine to upgrade now. It's okay.
Yes.
Story's over. In more troubling news, we've got reports for more poor dev conditions that surfaced last week. GamesBeat ran a story that I've been anticipating for several weeks now, as the GamesBeat crew have been kind of hinting and teasing at it, just kind of beating around the bush, of bad studio culture and bad things happening at Moon Studios, which is unfortunate because they make Ori. For anybody that doesn't know who Moon Studios are, and Ori is one of my favorite games. Ori 2 is one of my favorite games. It was just upsetting to hear. Jez added a bit to it on the Xbox 2 podcast, I believe. I wrote that from another article that I read. I didn't listen to it, but he did basically. I think the summation of what he added to it was, "This is why Xbox didn't buy them," which I thought was an interesting. That feels like an easy stone to throw in light of what's been said, but it's like Xbox just bought Activision.
Yeah, I was going to say that exact same thing.
So, like, there's a part of me that just at least wants to call a little BS. Like, okay, Jez, I'm not saying he's wrong. He might be completely right. He knows people more than I do.
Yeah.
But it's just it's a weird stone to throw, like after they bought Activision.
Didn't Moon Studios also start like publicly dissing like Xbox high-ranking staff too?
And that might have been a part of it as well. Like I said, I'm not calling him a liar. I have no idea. I don't know those people. Mm-hmm. But in the GamesBeat article, several former devs classified the place as an oppressive place to work, with lots of offensive comments and unprofessional behavior being done in the vein of jokes, which I actually thought was I think it's a interesting conversation to have, because I feel like of people in our age bracket, obviously I think the creators of Moon are a little older than me, but people that I guess cut their teeth coming up through the 90s, whether it was like working employment or kind of coming of age, I can 100% understand maybe where they're coming from, because we grew up kind of in that South Park Jackass generation. I could see how somebody like that, coming off like the 80s, like Boone, the 90s with that pop, there was like a big counterculture to like, pop marketing, corporate culture. Nobody wanted to do any of that. So there was kind of like I think an inherent resistance to that, like amongst the youth, I guess, if I'm trying to surmise. So I could see somebody wanting to still be edgy and cool like they used to. And, they were doing crazy video game things back in 1999. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I should state what they're really accused of isn't the same thing, like, or even remotely close to like some of the things at Activision, for example. This is more or less jokes, inappropriate behavior, singling people out, things like that. Which is interesting in the sense that I think ultimately, when I was reading the Gamesby thing in full detail, it honestly made me reflect, because I'll joke around with people at work too, and several of my people at work will, and I think this comes down to, like, if you're going to have that type of workplace environment, it probably needs to be small and needs to be very selective on who you bring in. And as the price of success and growth comes the probably the loss to that. You can't run a global studio and a professional business making millions of dollars and still act that way.
Yeah.
Like, you need HR in today's day and age. Like, there's several times even I have to remind myself, like, you can't just act however you want at work. Like, what you do at home or what you do on a podcast is one thing, but when you're on the job, that doesn't fly. So,
I mean, even on a podcast, depending on who's with you, like you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not condoning Hitler jokes and some of the other stuff that they were.
Oh, they were making Hitler jokes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is, so here's the thing, as somebody who and this is why I thought it was an interesting conversation, because as somebody who likes stand-up, likes South Park, these are other places that do those same things.
Yeah.
And I openly, subscribe to them, and I am entertained by them. But it's different when you go to work, right? It's different when you go to work. And if you're trying to have that type of environment at work, well, then you probably can't run a global studio with 70 employees.
No.
Because people, like, you need to run that with like 4 of your close friends that really get you at that level. Otherwise, you're going to run into issues. You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. People need to realize that not everybody gets their sentiments and their humor.
Yeah.
So sometimes some things need to, like, some people don't take jokes the way you take jokes. I know.
Yeah.
I've worked in cultures where people like want to crack jokes on people and things like that, and job environments, and they think that the person's in on the joke. And a lot of times they're not in on the joke. They fucking hate you. You have to kind of realize, like, maybe I shouldn't do that. This is the professional environment. Maybe I should act that way. Or I understand how people want to be outgoing. Just know who to do that with, in terms of, like, all right, this person does not appreciate these jokes, this humor. Let me keep those jokes and humor to myself when it comes to that. Because if you don't, you gotta deal with the consequences of it. Because not everybody gets that.
Yeah. Like, if you tell the wrong joke to someone, you could lead them down like a path of, like,
especially
worse.
I think it also needs to bring up, like, if you're talking to a subordinate.
Yeah. But also, like, you could lead them down a path of like depression, or worst case scenario, like suicide. Like, sometimes telling the wrong joke to someone could lead to disastrous consequences. Like, especially in a workplace environment. Like, I get, like, that people enjoy South Park and all that. And well, I don't. I'm not going to fault someone for enjoying South Park. But, like, watching South Park, you have the context that you're watching, like, a comedic satirical show.
Exactly.
At your job, if someone comes up to you and tells a joke like that.
Did you read the article, Haley?
I haven't had a chance, honestly.
Yeah, the article does go to even further. It's not just jokes either. I want to be clear, because I know I said that to make a point, but it's not just jokes. Apparently, there were several times where somebody would design a character or level or something, and their work would just be basically trashed in front of everybody.
Oh, so the artisan build strategy. Okay.
Yeah. So
unprofessional behavior. That's just
it's just unprofessional behavior, which Moon Studios did respond, and they more or less denied all of it and all that. But there were several former devs, and they are all former devs. Take that however you want to. If you want to be a cynic and say, they don't work there anymore, but there are several former devs that came out even after response. They even went public after, like, they retweeted the article, and they're like, here's my experience. And again, it's newsworthy. I think it's on us to reverberate these messages so more people know about them. And as somebody who really loves Moon Studios, like, it's not going to stop me from, I guess, probably being interested in whatever they're doing, but it's definitely going to give me pause. It makes me think twice. I'd like to hear better things than that. And then after the Moon Studios article came out, People Make Games, which is a YouTube channel, came out with a giant feature on a bunch of different indie studios, including Mountains, which made Florence, which is an amazing game, and Fulbright, which made Gone Home.
Yes.
And Tacoma. Gone Home is better than Tacoma. And they had a bunch of interviews from a bunch of different devs talking about their mistreatment at work and being taken advantage of, long hours and some emotionally damaging stuff. And that was important. I shared this in our Discord, and there are a few comments that were made in the guise of like, everybody hates their job. Well,
I saw that, and I was like, "What?
It's more than
are we
that.
dismissing
Like
this?"
they specifically said that in their interview. So if anybody had actually read the reports or the video, watched the video, and they would have seen that it is more than just, I didn't like my job and I didn't like my boss. Everybody goes through that. This was more pointed than that. So video games, the thing, I don't want to bring the entire show down. We love video games. I'm sure all these developers love video games. You got to remember that nobody's going to make a video when everything's going great. Nobody's going to do a featurette about the amazing experience that it was to make this game, because that doesn't get clicks. So just remember that if you feel like, man, video games suck to work in, it's not everywhere. There's a giant video game industry, and I'm sure there are good places to work.
I will say this. I think this is a good thing. I think it's good that these stories are getting out there and people are telling their truths of what's going on, because it's opening people's eyes to things, letting you know that, hey, this is some of the downsides to being a video game developer.
Being a downside of the second video, the People Make Games featurette was a little like dampening to me, because you figure like being an indie dev, that was kind of the point, to get away from like giant studio culture and giant corporation culture, and to be more flexible and be more open and to move, and have more input, and to hear some of their stories. It's like, to be taken advantage of at an indie studio when there's like 20 of y'all, that really sucks. Because that's a big reason why I love to support indies is that kind of that entrepreneur spirit. Like, we're just going to do it ourselves. We're going to make it happen, just a small team. And it's like, I love seeing what they can do. And like specifically Florence, if you guys have never played it and gone home, like, these are great games. So I thought that sucked. So I'm with you, Delvin. I agree with you. It's good that we hear about it versus just loving the games and thinking that they all went well.
Didn't stuff about From Software's environment come out as well?
That I don't know.
I'm almost certain there are stories about every video game company and stuff like this, because it's the culture. Like, no matter where you work, there's always going to be some bad apples. There's always going to be somebody who's a shitty person who works there. Shitty people get jobs.
It's human nature. It's human nature, unfortunately. We suck. And it's like you said, it's good that this stuff is brought to light so that we can force change. Like,
and be aware.
There's no reason for these things to continue to exist. Like, the more they're brought to light, the more we can force ourselves to change and just
put pressure on the studios to make sure they don't do that. So, in more exciting news, Supermassive announced The Quarry, a spiritual successor and follow-up to Until Dawn. This game is coming out, I believe, this June. It is a horror title that has you deciding the fates of frightened youth as you control 9 camp counselors as a night of celebrating the end of summer quickly goes sideways. The trailer hints at the most dangerous game tale, where someone appears to be hunting the counselors for sport. And the game features an ensemble of Hollywood stars, including David Arquette,
Dewey,
Ariel Winter from Modern Family, Justice Smith, Brenda Song, my personal favorite of the group, Lynn Shay, horror royalty, and Lance Henriksen. This is so exciting for me. I ordered this. This is what I spent the Arceus money on. Absolutely. It was like, get my copy day one. Cannot wait for this. This immediately screams up near the top of my most anticipated titles.
I loved Until Dawn. I'm stoked for this.
Be playing it day one.
Well, everybody knows I'm a big Supermassive fan, so I cannot wait. One, because this looks like the Supermassive game I wanted for a while.
Yeah.
And two, that means we get 2 Supermassive games this year.
Which is wild.
Yeah. So this has kind of been the game they've been working on in secret while they've been putting out these dark picture anthology games. Like, okay. And it kind of explains why those games don't always feel polished as they should, because they were working on something else at the same time. And this looks great.
Who publishes the dark pictures?
Namco.
So this is being published by 2K?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I noticed that when it was announced, and I was hoping that maybe that is a nod that the game will be of maybe better quality.
Yeah,
possibly.
I hope.
I feel like the dark.
I'm not expecting I'm not expecting like a 25, 30-hour game or anything
No.
like that. I'm expecting.
I think
it'll
it'll
be
be
short
bigger.
game.
I think it'll be bigger than the Dark Picture Anthology games in terms of game list and things like that.
Until Dawn was only like 10 to 12 hours, which is
Yeah.
about what I'd expect from like a 2K published.
And the Dark
Thing
Picture
by
Anthology
Supermassive.
games are generally speaking like 5 hours long, maybe.
Yeah. Just
So,
with the cast that they have and everything, I was like, they probably got a little more money to put into this one.
yes.
I would imagine they've got a little more time to put into it. So I was very excited. Got my pre-order. I'm gonna play it on Xbox so I can play on the TV with my wife. We're gonna have a blast.
I'm
Oh,
super
yeah.
excited for it. I'm gonna.
There's
I think
online
I'm gonna
multiplayer for up to 9 people too. Like each person can play like one camp counselor, which is
That could be
interesting.
fun.
I might do
Yeah.
that in a replay.
Yeah.
I might
I'll do it on the
actually play
first
that.
go around, but I might do
No,
that in
I
a
wouldn't do
replay.
it on the first go around either. But like Delvin, if you pick it up on PlayStation, I would definitely like play multiplayer with you.
If I had 9 people to play with, I might actually do that. I
I'll
like
believe that when it happens. I'm gonna hold you to that.
I like.
I
I
definitely
will
won't.
find 9 people.
On Xbox, I definitely won't.
I like Supermassive games that much, like
Yeah.
big time. So I'm super excited for this.
Quit
This looks
lying.
awesome.
You'll play multiplayer if you get pressured enough. You tried to play multiplayer Dying Light 2 with me, and the servers
'Cause you
just wouldn't
guilted me
have
into
it.
it. You found my weakness, guilt.
It was
We're gonna
not
guilt
guilt.
you into
I just
playing this
asked
with
if you
9
wanted
people
help.
online.
Well, let's get into some of the headlines. The Nintendo Wii and DSi shop channels went offline. I did just check; they're still offline. Nintendo came back and said that they've been down for maintenance. This is unannounced maintenance, unplanned maintenance. I honestly think they tried to turn it off and was hoping nobody would notice. I was surprised the DSi shop is still online.
Yeah,
I was
honestly,
like, the
thought they were
DSi
slick.
shop is online? What the hell?
yeah, it does. It does feel like they were like, we're just gonna turn
Just shut
this
it off, see
knob
if-
over here,
if
and
anybody-
then people were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they were like,
Nothing?
Maintenance."
Nothing. So yeah, maybe they'll come back online. Who knows? The Switch has folders now. You guys excited?
I mean, if
I haven't turned my Switch on in months.
if you could have the folders on the main screen,
Yeah,
sure, but
that's
you
the
can't. You can't have them on the main screen. They're on their
Exactly.
own separate. Like,
You got to go
What's
to
the
the
point?
all. You got to go to the all libraries thing. Then you can look at your groups and exactly what's the point.
What's
That makes
the
no sense.
point?
Yeah,
I'm
with you guys. I was like, I saw the announcement and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then when I saw it, I was like, I'm never doing that.
I
So,
think I saw like 6 different tweets that are like, "Why are we doing folders if they can't be on the main screen?" Nintendo, like, what are you doing?
pretty much the video that I saw somebody tutorial and they're like, this is really cool. Like if you're looking for a specific game in your library, like I'm like, I've never been like, I can't find the game.
I
So-
have almost 500 games, and all I have to do is sort by A to Z to find the game I'm looking for.
Yeah. So nah, son. Netflix announced a Tekken anime series, which I think looked pretty cool.
They've
That could
been
be cool.
putting out some quality video game related stuff.
I
so
love
maybe
what
they'll
they
do
did
well.
with Castlevania, and like a
Castlevania's
Tekken thing
awesome.
like that would be cool. I thought it was a good fit.
Cuphead's really good.
Yeah, I'm not
Picture's
watching that.
great.
Me
I
too.
know it's not animated, but it's
Is
still
Cuphead like for kids? Because my son keeps seeing
No.
them and he's like, I want to watch Cuphead. I'm like, I don't think that is for you, son.
I
But he is
wouldn't say
adamant
it's
about it.
not for kids.
Well, I wouldn't say it's for Dev's kid. I would say it's for kids around 8
Yeah.
or 9 years old,
Yeah, it's
but
for
I would
every other
not
kid
say it's
except
for
your
your
kids,
son.
I mean, he'll be 7.
Depends. Does he get like nightmares? Because some of the designs in that show.
Nah.
And Kyle says he's excited. I'm
He loves
I'm glad somebody else
Transformers, so-
was. I think Tekken. would
I've
be cool.
never liked Tekken. Fuck Tekken.
Tekken's cool.
Yeah. It's better than King of Fighters and half the other shit. Dev
The
thinks is
only
cool.
the only thing I like about
Street
Tekken,
Fighter, bruh. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. That's really it.
the only thing I like about Tekken is that Negan was in it, and that's the only thing I know about Tekken.
I remember they on the Wii U they had the
Yeah.
Tekken where the guys had Mario and Luigi themes. That was weird.
Yeah.
Epic will donate all proceeds of Fortnite, which just launched a new season, over the next 2 weeks to humanitarian aid in Ukraine. Last number I saw came out earlier today. They've already raised over $50 million.
Yep, that's the last number they posted. We should.
I
also...
bought a battle pass to support this cause.
Oh yeah,
And I'm not sure if you guys know this. Jack told me,
they took out building.
yeah,
took
you
building
can't
out.
build
Yeah.
stuff.
You
And I
can't
was like,
build.
that's so
Good.
cool. So we played it, and I had a lot of fun. And then Jack started spouting off a bunch of. This is how Jack made me feel old. I was like, "This is so cool," and he goes, "Yeah, all the sweats are mad." I was, "The fuck? What the hell's this? He's
okay.
like they can't.
So,
He's like they can't jump up and do 90s anymore. He's like the fuck are you
so
talking about?
So Jack
Really?
has
You don't know what any of that
discovered the
means?
language
I don't know
of
what
I don't know
pro-
what that means.
the language of programmers.
We're
So
old. We're old, Delvin. Old for life.
Sweats is essentially the new
You've never
tryhard.
heard that term? Yes,
No,
it's
I
just
don't know that.
tryhard. Like it's a sweaty blobby.
It's the new tryhard. And 90 is when they do that stupid little hey, it's the last circle in the match, and they build like 90 feet in the air. They can't do that anymore.
Yeah, Jack's just spouting hit me with all this stuff. I'm like, I'm old.
So this
Y'all call me
decision,
old.
while great, should be noted, I believe was influenced by the fact that it was due to unfortunate timing of the positioning and theme of their new season, because their new season is themed all around war, which, you know, with the conflict going on, that's what, like, it's a great decision. I'm not faulting the decision.
It's a battle royale shooter, so
I was gonna say
I'm not gonna get too. I'm not gonna get too up in arms over.
No, exactly not. But like, I feel like that's
shooter.
It's a crucial part of the thing, right? Like they were advertising a
Stay
story
tuned for the next Call of
war.
Duty update when they patch out guns.
Right.
I mean,
we're gonna patch shit in radios like ET.
You laugh,
Slap
but there's
boxing.
a rumor that Captain America is coming to Call of Duty. So like,
oh, I definitely thought they were gonna. They've been a little late to the Fortnite party, but they're coming.
Captain
Yeah.
America.
Like once
that looks
Warzone was
interesting.
announced, Epic had to be like, "Oh,
there's also rumor about Indiana Jones as well.
I mean,
Oh,
hell,
no,
they
that
got
sounds
Snoop Dogg. Might as well throw in Captain America and Indiana Jones
Sure.
too. Why
Snoop
not?
Dogg's in Warzone.
Snoop Dogg's in Warzone, yes.
oh yeah."
I want to play. I want to play as Snoop
Also,
Dogg.
Delvin, they had Donnie Darko in Warzone. Okay, like
Why?
Why not? You're asking the
what
wrong
do you
question.
mean? Why? Because it's interesting.
Why not?
Snoop Dogg sounds cool in Warzone. I can imagine him talking and
Yeah.
smoking weed while you're fighting.
Well, he's
and
had
stuff,
the
shooting stuff
commentary like DLCs and stuff for a while now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sniper Elite 5, talking about warring shooter games, will arrive on all platforms in May 26, except the Switch, launching day and date into Game Pass.
Sniper Elite's like, we don't give a fuck. We're dropping what we want to drop.
No, I
Oh
mean,
man, they should come out with the
Sniper Elite's
Putin
good.
DLC.
Oh yeah,
Like, you can
that
end this
would
shit
sell-
yourself.
That would sell hotcakes. I guarantee
Oh, yeah.
you. I mean, I'm not bringing politics into this. It's just like that would sell hotcakes when you literally have a U.S. senator tweeting out assassination tweets. So like, yeah,
Yeah. Except we just hate that U.S. senator. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Move past that. Godfall Ultimate Edition comes to Xbox and PC on April 7th,
Why?
where a bunch of other people will still not play it, right?
Exactly.
By
I don't-
PC, you mean Steam? Isn't it? It's already on PC. You just mean Steam?
Is it? I guess.
It's
I don't
coming
know.
to
I think it's in
Steam,
the Epic Store.
Also,
I feel like it's in the
shout-
Epic Store.
Shout out to Randy Pitchford again, tweeting a picture of himself holding the box when this news was announced, and I'm just like, you're not cool.
This game wasn't good, right? That's my
It
last
is-
memory is Dev and
it-
Josh played it, and they were like, it's not very good.
It
I'll
is
play it.
not.
It's so.
I have
it's-
played
it's-
maybe
it's
4
fine.
hours of it.
It's mediocre.
Fine.
It's a busy time to have a fine game release.
Yeah.
You got to be a little bit better than fine these days to,
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
warrant attention.
Also, the story is like complete nonsense.
Aren't most
Their
of them-
armor is very shiny. I'll say that.
The armor,
Yeah.
yeah,
Alright.
the armor, the game looks incredible. It's just not
Yeah.
a
Not
lot
good.
of fun.
Yeah.
Looks great.
CD Projekt Red has announced that they have begun working on the next Witcher game, and that they're moving to Unreal Engine 5 as part of a 5-year partnership with Epic. Does
Huh?
this mean the next Witcher game will be Epic Game Store?
So
Probably.
there's a tweet from Radic, which is the developer who announced this news, who came out, was like, things we did not announce today. Witcher 4. We announced a new game in the Witcher saga. We announced a partnership, and we did not announce a game being exclusive to one storefront. We will have more news when
I don't
the
think
game
it'd
is
be
ready.
exclusive because don't they own GOG, right?
They do, yes.
Yeah, so I was just thinking it would just not be Steam. That doesn't
Which
mean
is-
it's exclusive. It just won't be on Steam.
Yeah,
That's basically what Epic's paying people for.
probably,
You put your
yeah.
game anywhere else, just not
I mean,
Steam.
look, if it's only a 5-year partnership, it doesn't matter because this Witcher game ain't gonna be out in 5 years. So
No, it will be. It'll be out in 2.5. You just won't be able to play it until year 5.
Also,
there is
keep
that.
in mind, the switch to Unreal Engine for this means that development may go smoother than before because their red engine gave them a lot of issues with Witcher 3. Like it literally like caused them severe issues.
Yeah, I'm all for everybody doing the Unreal thing.
Yeah.
It seems like they've really nailed it.
Should also note the Cyberpunk Twitter account came out later that same day and was like, development on the Cyberpunk expansion will be continued in Red Engine.
Well, of course. You're not
I
gonna
would
have two
hope
engines.
It
That
wouldn't
doesn't make
switch in the
sense.
middle of a.
No, I know, but like,
That wouldn't
on
make
top
any
of
sense.
on top of the Witcher game news, they came out and were like, "Hey, work on the expansion is continuing. Also, we're not switching engines." Also, today, I think it was today, the developer also came out and confirmed that the medallion that you're seeing in the Witcher image is a Lynx. This is a brand new Witcher school developed for the games.
Do people
I
care
don't know
about
what
that,
any of
Haley?
that
Is that
means.
news?
I don't even know what that means. You said words.
All right,
I still
Haley.
got it.
Haley,
Yeah?
it's my news segment.
Okay.
Now the news. EA Sports PGA Tour has been delayed out of 2022 and will launch sometime next spring. So they didn't just
No
delay the
bueno.
game; they delayed the game by a whole damn year.
No bueno.
Not good.
I
Not-
almost
not-
spat my drink out.
Not good. I wasn't expecting this
Sorry,
game
Donnie.
soon because I would
Sorry.
imagine if they were going to launch, they'd want to launch before the Masters. Masters in like 3 weeks, so I wasn't thinking this game was coming out. It would be weird for them to launch it in like June, like after the Masters and after US Open. It'd be really weird for them to launch it then. So
When do golf
Yeah.
games normally launch?
that's a good question. I don't know when they all
That's a very
normally
good
launch.
question.
I feel like they should. I feel like most of them would launch in early spring, like
I
February,
mean, is
March.
there
You
like
want
a
to
traditional like season?
you want to
for
get
golf?
out. The season really starts like technically like March, like it's happening now. But most people don't. It's like basketball, right? Most people don't pay attention to basketball until Christmas. Most people don't
Mhm.
pay attention to golf until the Masters. Like that's more or less when people are like, "Oh, golf's happening." You know, so I feel like most games where they'd want you to launch before that. But you know, like 2K probably could have come out later than that. We still haven't heard anything from 2K, which apparently has Tiger Woods. I don't expect that they would delay because they've already had a game out, right? Like EA is making a brand new golf game. They haven't made one in
Mhm.
8 years. So I would understand, but 2K, I would at least have some hope that maybe they'll come out with 2K22 and, you know, have Tiger Woods in it. And I'll still buy it and play it. But I was excited for the EA one because apparently EA just crushed the licensing.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
2K was like, we've got this awesome golf game. We barely have any real courses, but we're going to have Tiger. And EA was like, well, we're just going to eat your lunch because we're going to license the US Open, the PGA Open, the PGA tournament, the Open Championship, the Masters, the playoff. Like the
All
players.
the courses.
Yeah, they basically licensed everything not Tiger. they licensed the rest of golf.
Smart move, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean,
Interesting.
I was eager to see both because here's the thing: EA has never made a golf game as good as 2K21. Like for all the faults that I had several with 2K's last golf game, it is still a really good, like fundamentally, mechanically, is a very good golf game. So EA's got a lot to do, a lot to prove that their game is going to be good. You know,
we're looking at another NBA Live situation.
so remember, their McElroy PGA Tour sucked. That game was hot trash. So, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League delayed to spring 2023.
Not surprising.
Was it supposed to
Confirming-
come out this year?
It
They-
was
Yeah, I
was
think they
originally.
dated it, yeah.
They announced last year that both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad were dated 2022.
And when
Which
they
is
said that, I
funny.
said that's big cap.
Yep.
I want
which
to
is
Who
which is funny.
believed that nonsense?
And then Jason Schreier came out earlier this year and was like, "Hey, I've heard that quietly Suicide Squad has been delayed till 2023." And then people were like, "I'll believe it when I see it." And then they came out today and announced that it's been delayed, which
And
makes
Jordan in
sense.
the chat says golf season starts in September, and he's right. But a lot of people don't pay attention to the winter golf circuit.
I was gonna say, can you golf in the winter? Is that
Well, they
possible?
take a break and then they play like the Hawaiian swing and the California swing. But here's the thing: those early terms of the year, none of the stars play it. They're all off. So it's like a bunch of dudes you've never heard of.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it really even happening then?
Exactly.
No.
That's the point.
Yeah.
AMD's DLSS competitor FSR 2.0 is coming to Xbox. Will be available in the Xbox Game Developers Kit for developers, but no ETA on when Xbox games will actually utilize it. Which ones coming up will use it?
I don't know what any of that meant.
It's AMD's upscaling stuff. It's not
Yeah.
as good as DLSS, but our consoles don't have tensor cores, right? So they can't even do DLSS
No.
stuff.
No,
Yeah.
it's an AMD chip, so it can only do
Yeah.
the FSR. So basically, what this means, as Rude Day asked, he said, "Can you give us a game tech segment tonight on tonight's show so I can understand what this means?" Basically, what it means is that they can take a game, have a lower native resolution, upscale it to a higher resolution, and then have really good frame rates. That's basically what it is.
It's not that great.
That's all.
I mean, at least on PC, the implementation of FSR isn't that great.
That's the 1.0 version. The 2.0 version is better. It's still not as good as
Not
DLSS,
DLSS, though.
but it's all we're going to be able to get on
DLSS
consoles.
is amazing.
Insanity. It's
Yeah.
because it's machine learning. It has nothing. It's machine learning. It's an AI machine learning like algorithm. So it's constantly making changes and trying to make things better with DLSS, where FSR is not.
Yeah, the stuff the stuff that I've done on with DLSS with Dying Light and with Cyberpunk on PC is insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Now
insane.
FSR, for people that don't know, FSR is being utilized on Switch. There's several games that are using FSR on Switch, kind of behind the code as well. So, yeah,
FSR can also work on NVIDIA cards, not just AMD cards. It's a open source type code, so it can be used on everything. But I mean, it'll help consoles. This is not something that's good for PC, because if you got a PC, get an NVIDIA card and
Are there-
stop wasting your money.
because I've only turned it on to basically benchmark it, and the benchmarks were so bad compared to DLSS that I turned it off. So I don't know exactly, like, are there major performance games with FSR, or is it just an upscaling tech?
Games, the games have to actually be made for FSR. Like they actually have to be made to utilize FSR. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah, I wasn't very excited when I saw the news.
well, you don't play on your Xbox. You're a PC gamer, so it doesn't matter.
I'm playing the Quarry on Xbox. I still play
that
my
won't need
Xbox.
FSR. That won't need
Still
anything.
play on my Xbox.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure.
You're the one that doesn't play on his PC, Mr.
This
PC
is
Master
true.
Race.
This is my graphics
need-
card died.
You need
I gave
another
it
one.
new
With
life.
the
And
program.
now I've been playing on it. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Get with the program. We're supposed to be in this together.
no, that ship sailed.
See, I get into PC after years of making a dev, and me getting in is he gets out.
You send me a
Into some
3080 and
It's
things
like
may
a
change.
It's like a spiteful move. He's just like, nah, I can't do it anymore.
I can't afford it. Can't afford
Mhm.
it. You know, they priced me out. I'm not part of the 1%. All right. I can't get in there.
We'll get you
Too
in.
damn expensive.
Then we'll get you a Steam Deck.
That's not.
I
no.
doubt that's ever going to
God,
happen.
no. I don't need a
be
Steam
awesome.
Deck. I don't
It's
play
gonna be great.
anything. I don't have couch games. That's not a thing for me.
It's gonna be
There's
great.
no couch
Speaking of
games.
FSR, it's gonna be great. That's it. That's all I got for the news.
All right. Well, let's get into these questions. First question comes from TPR. He says, with likely Atomic Heart and Stalker 2 being delayed to world events, it seems like
Definitely.
Redfall and Starfield are the big flagship releases we have this year from them. Do you guys think Xbox has to do something more to keep momentum before this thing people are talking about called E3? And if so, what is it? Or are we just kind of cruising? I think something out of left field would really work in their favor from a public morale point of view. You guys think that they need to do anything special, or
I think Xbox is fine. I don't think they're like. I don't feel like they need to feel pressure to go out and compete with anybody. They've got a great service. They've got a great console. They've got games. Now, those games are definitely being delayed. Now, I do think we'll see a giant Starfield thing at their E3 showcase. They're going to have their showcase in June. It won't be E3, but it'll be Xbox, and they're going to do their traditional spot. They've got a bunch of studios, man. Like, would it be surprising if the Coalition had something small to show? No. I expect we'll have Forza expansions to show off. Sea of Thieves will get updates. Like, there's plenty of games. Plenty of games to show. They'll have a big Game Pass something or another. I would expect several of those. A lot of Game Pass announcements. So I'm not
honestly,
really
is
concerned.
Atomic Heart an Xbox exclusive?
I think it's timed
That I
exclusive.
don't remember.
But
I think
also,
so.
it's a Russian developed game, so it's not coming out this year.
I mean, I knew that. That was I knew that. I was just curious.
Oh, I know why you learned that because
Exclusive.
Garrett gave you hell for
Yeah,
it.
I had no idea. I didn't care.
I mean, they're gonna have
We'll see what happens.
like I said, they have Forza expansions. They'll do
Mhm.
something with Halo, right? Like, don't
Yeah,
they-
Xbox will be fine. They've got Game
What's
Pass.
that other
Just say
game-
Game Pass. Just say Game Pass.
what's that
will be
other
fine.
game the Fallout team is doing?
Uh,
The Outer Worlds 2?
okay, so you're
Outer
okay.
Wilds?
Outer World,
Outer
no, it's
Wilds?
Outer Worlds too,
Worlds,
and
yeah.
that's Obsidian, yes.
Obsidian, yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
Fallout team.
Yes, yes.
So I'm expecting like, is that should be ready soonish, right? If not
I
if
don't
not
think so.
released but shown.
Shown, yes, but ready,
course.
no, I don't think so. I would
They've
also
been working on it a while.
No, it was announced last year.
Yeah, but they've been working on it for a while. Like they didn't just start working on it last year.
They had nothing to
Didn't
show
Outer Wilds
for
one
it
come out,
last
like
year.
the year before.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Outer
Maybe they've been
Worlds.
working on it for 2 years, if that,
That's a lot of
Yeah,
time.
in the pandemic.
yeah. On Game Pass acquisitions, I honestly wouldn't be
2019.
surprised.
October 2019.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
then the
not a lot
trailer
of
was
time
like
in the pandemic.
last year. But on Game Pass acquisitions, I wouldn't be surprised to see like Gotham Knights or something end up in Game Pass for the fall.
Yeah, I think they'll try. I think they'll swing for a big one. I think like they are. They've got the show and they've got
Mhm.
Sniper Elite. I don't know about Gotham. That might be too far, but nothing's too far. Like we've seen Xbox with how they're doing it.
Mhm.
Nothing's too far. But no, I expect that they'll have a few things. Maybe something EA, jumps in. They'll have other partners. They've got indie exclusives. Like I'm not really concerned about it. I've been saying this since Empire, since before we even started this podcast and beyond that. This year was always going to be a light year as their studios get ready. Like they've been preparing games. And here's the thing. The reason that you knew that was when the consoles launched. Remember what a great year Xbox had that year. They released like 9 first-party games a year. People don't realize because they weren't all the AAA ones that they want. But they did release a lot of games that year. They had Flight Sim and they had Grounded, and they released a bunch of games. So this is
This
kind
whole
of the reloading.
light year stuff. There's so many goddamn games.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many
Jesus.
people out there. I agree with you. I agree with you. But there's so many people
damn
out there that
games.
apparently weigh their value of a console solely on the amount of exclusives it has.
Yeah,
And it's
it's unfortunate.
it is
It's
kind of a
exhausting.
little unfortunate. I'm not saying that you're doing the TPR, but there are a lot of people that are. I see that often. They act like Xbox is like in dire straits. It's like it's okay to go through because Nintendo has had a light couple years. Like I'm very excited for this year because they're finally reloading and pushing out again. Like this happens. It's cyclical. This is happening.
Yeah,
like
people just gonna be playing Call of Duty in the fall. anyway. Who
PlayStation's kind of
cares?
having a light year, like from what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is especially after COVID. I mean, this is to be expected.
Yeah.
So
It's
the-
fine. It's
the third party will
fine.
show up.
Yep, they always do.
Yep.
Xbox
Yep.
be fine. They got a whole bunch of
Yep.
studios that's working on a whole bunch of stuff. And it's gonna get to the point where we're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff coming out all the time for Xbox. So this is fine.
Get your backlogs ready.
Yeah, John 32 says that the Stalker 2 devs have recoded the Czech Republic. I saw that as well. I
Yeah.
still expect that the game, I don't know what their tools are doing, if they're in the cloud and all that. Like, so I don't even want to, especially that game has already been delayed for so long. So let's just bank on it being delayed again. I think that's
Yeah.
safe. That's the safe route. Like, I'm not counting on that one to show up at all.
Also, that already got delayed to December. Plus, they've now lost a couple weeks because of the conflict, right? So, yeah.
His follow up, not related at all. He says, "What's your go-to takeout Chinese food order?"
I don't have one.
I
I don't order takeout Chinese.
I don't like Chinese food.
Shrimp lo mein.
I usually get like broccoli beef. Keep it real simple. To be perfectly honest. Good shrimp fried rice. Good to go.
Yeah.
In a bucket.
Shrimp fried rice.
Shrimp fried rice in a bucket.
Oh, the
I'm
bucket.
I
doing
prefer Thai
Asian-
food.
If I'm doing Asian food, it's Japanese or nothing really.
Yeah, I prefer Thai. Give me some pad see ew or something like that. That's about it. Yeah. Moving along. Kev wants to know, what is your favorite sitcom and why is it Scrubs?
So it's not
It's not
Scrubs.
Scrubs.
Yeah, it's definitely not Scrubs.
It's,
Never
it's
watched
Bro-
Scrubs.
it's Bro-
Oh,
it's
you
Bro-
should. It's good, but it's not as
good.
good as it's not as good as Kevin makes it out.
Uh,
to be.
It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine for me.
You are young.
I think I like Scrubs more than that though.
I've never seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
My wife
It's
loves it
good.
too.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is great,
It's
but
good. It's funny.
again, I'm the youngin. I started Scrubs when it was like ending, so
Sure. Scrubs is good. I
Sitcoms
don't
have to
know
be
Scrubs
probably
hate.
my least favorite television. So this is a tough one.
I mean, I don't watch them
I'm
often.
probably gonna have to just. Does Archer count as a sitcom? It took me a second to really realize what the hell does
Yeah,
sitcom
I don't
even
think
mean?
I don't
Archer
think
doesn't
the animation stuff.
Why
Yeah,
not? Because
it's
isn't The
its
Simpsons
own
considered
genre.
the longest
Animation's
running
its own
sitcom?
genre.
Isn't The
Nope.
Simpsons considered the longest running sitcom?
But it's not. It's
I don't think they
in,
consider. Do they consider The Simpsons a sitcom?
I'm pretty sure they do.
No.
Let me check.
The Academy Awards consider Simpsons
The
Animated
Academy
sitcom.
Fuck
Awards.
the Academy Awards.
Look,
Fuck what
Look,
they
we have
think.
voted and we said animation is out.
Okay, then I don't have a favorite sitcom.
You
got
Again,
nothing.
It's like my least.
Not the Fresh Prince, not Martin, not Living Single.
Dude, my wife
Definitely
loves
not Fresh
Prince
Prince.
of Bel-Air.
Not
I'm a
Martin.
Martin
Like I
person.
love those shows, but it's not something for me. If it's my favorite, it's something I'd go back and watch again. I'm not gonna go back and
Chappelle
watch
Show?
those shows. Much like video games. Is that a sitcom?
I wouldn't
Chappelle
consider
Show
Chappelle
a
Show a
sitcom?
sitcom. That's
I
sketch
thought it was considered
comedy.
a sketch comedy.
sketch comedy.
sketch
Yeah,
comedy,
it's
yeah.
not.
My favorite sitcom, Seinfeld. That's my answer.
No.
Good
absolutely
answer.
Not.
My favorite sitcom is that 70s show.
That's a
Then
good one.
probably How I Met Your Mother and then Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld. I can watch Seinfeld over and over again.
I still do.
My
But I'm that
wife
way about
loves
that 70s
Seinfeld.
show. I watch the 70s show constantly. I've seen it over and over and over and over.
Yeah,
and
if
over
I'm
again.
gonna rewatch something over again, it's not gonna be a sitcom. It's gonna be like a drama TV show. And as noticed by my "here's what I'm watching" thread on Twitter.
You watch old people shows.
Yeah.
Like CSI.
Hey, yes, I
Still
watched.
here with
I
like-
watched 336
Haley's like, I've gone through
episodes.
20 episodes of Murder, She Wrote this week.
Gotta get started on Magnum PI.
Okay,
Right.
but actually, it's funny because my dad is watching Murder She Wrote.
We need
Oh
you
my
to
God.
give us your full take on MASH on the next show.
Yeah, I've never seen an episode of MASH.
MASH
ever.
means it is time to go to sleep.
Yes.
That
Nap
theme
time.
song puts you right out.
Oh, dude, The Office. God, how could I forget The Office? Is
My daughter
amazing.
loves The Office.
The Office
I,
is incredible.
I can't watch
It's
it. I get
truly,
secondhand
truly
embarrassment.
incredible.
I
It's a good show.
I do
wouldn't
not.
watch it
I
again,
do
though.
not watch soap operas. Just
Lightning in a
clear that
bottle.
up.
Dying Light.
That's not
The
a
rest
soap
of us-
opera.
As the world turns.
If it's not Archer, I got nothing. I hate you all for not letting me just choose Archer because it's great.
I mean,
It
I
is
love
Bob
Archer
great,
Burgers.
but
too.
it's not a sitcom.
That's not a sitcom.
We'll let you have it. We'll
I
let
don't
you
give a
have it.
fuck.
It's
It's,
Archer.
We'll let
it's
you
a
have it.
situational comedy. It's a
Fine.
situational comedy. It
Fine.
just happens to be animated.
Archer. Here's the Archer, though. I think even you know, we both loved Archer. It's kind of hit and miss.
I love it all.
Yeah.
Like
Archer's hit and
the
miss.
first half of Archer is way better than the second half of Archer.
I love it.
Last
all.
season I enjoyed though, but there was a couple
Last season
seasons
was
there
great.
where I was just like, "The hell is going on with this?" Even?
Archer Noir, fantastic.
Yeah, I
Loved
like
it.
that one.
Archer in space, loved it.
No,
You don't you don't like space. We've been over this.
trying to be Futurama. We've done that.
Speaking of
I'm okay with
Futurama,
that.
it's coming back.
Futurama's another one. Can I put that as a sitcom too? It's
Sure.
situational. It's comedy.
We'll let you
Well,
have
if
it.
you get to do that, then I want to do Beavis and Butthead.
Go for it. Absolutely. Let's go.
I mean, South
Wait,
Park too. South Park is good.
I've never
South
watched.
Park?
I've-
South Park
Yes.
and Beavis and Butthead feel like
I've,
sitcoms.
I've never watched Beavis and Butthead.
See, I would
It's
think
'cause
of
they
Beavis
are.
and Butthead more as like a sketch comedy. Like it's animated, but it's more like in little skits.
yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, Family Guy. Another great one. Clearly, I just really like cartoons.
King of the Hill.
Oh, love
I've
it.
seen,
King of the
I've
Hill's
seen
good.
King of the Hill. King of the Hill is good. I was also
Damn it,
surprisingly,
Bobby.
I don't know how that show did well outside.
King of the
Texas.
Hill, like a boomerang, gets better. I mean, like a wine gets better with age. Like it's funny when you're a kid, but when you watch that again as a parent, boy,
So
it hits different.
good.
It hits in a
is so
completely
good.
different way.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Very good.
I don't know you.
Even for like it's such a
love
capsule
Bobby.
in time, but it still is so relatable.
The episode
Mm-hmm.
where they teach Bobby how to fight, and he just keeps going around kicking guys in the balls.
That's
Always
where the I don't know you comes from. It's my purse.
I love Mike Judge. I can't
That
wait to
always
see
gets me.
whatever he's doing with Paramount. I'll watch anything he does.
Oh God, I love it. Love it.
I just want a picture of a god dang hot dog.
Propane and propane accessories.
Bobby?
All right. So Kyle the Pug says, if you were to be inhaled by Kirby
This
and
is
he became a copy
disturbing
of you,
question.
what would be the first thing that Kirby would do?
Probably die of an estrogen overdose. Like,
Wouldn't Kirby be able to absorb
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, he would just turn into you.
he
Are
would.
you
But
about to die of one of those? Because I
no,
hope
but
not.
it's a joke about like me, like it's me humor. That's the joke.
Yes.
I don't know what he'd do. I don't do much, man.
This is
At
a
work and play
disturbing
video
question.
games, podcasts. He'd podcast.
I know exactly what Kirby would do if he turned into you. He'd go buy a bunch of shit on Steam.
That works. Yeah, it pulls out a
Kirby
Steam
able
Deck.
to see
Can Kirby even access Steve?
Kirby version of Donnie just on Steam.
He would just go big mouth mode
Think
or
of
mouthful mode on Steam.
The Kirby gif where he's fishing, the same thing, except he's just sitting there with a Steam Deck, and that's Donnie Kirby. Guys, I can't wait for my Steam Deck to get here. I'm so excited.
When's it arriving?
It depends on how long it takes my friend to set it up for me. It's got to get to him, and then he's got to do the work to it, and then get it to me. So I imagine it'll be a couple weeks.
Kirby
Delvin, if
just
Kirby
doing
turns into you, he's going to
manual
announce
labor.
something about Cadillac on Mars. That's what he's
No,
going to do so he doesn't get fired.
Exactly. He'll be doing that and doing manual labor, like just painting driveways and shit like that.
What
Doing dad stuff.
Yeah.
Doing dad
What would
stuff. He's
Kirby
I
gonna
was
be
thinking,
Texas.
what would they wear? Because like when he inhales people, he assumes their abilities.
Oh.
So, like,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. I was like a hoodie and like some Crocs.
Sweats and
Kirby-
a t-shirt.
If he would be wearing a Marvel or superhero T-shirt with some FUBU shoes that are
There you
dirty
go.
because he's been cleaning and stuff in them.
Probably wearing like a kind of
Still
funny
have
merch
FUBU
shirt.
shoes?
Oh god,
They
it's
sell them
kinda
at
Won't
funny
have
stuff.
FUBU shoes.
They sell them at Walmart.
Still
So I
with the
bought-
kind of funny stuff.
I am
Why are
literally
you
wearing
buying
shoes
the
from
merch
Walmart?
right now.
Let it go.
because I don't want to mess up my good shoes.
I'm literally
FUBU
wearing the merch right
Shoes from Walmart?
Yes. You don't want
can
to mess
do
up your
better.
good shoes painting and cleaning stuff.
You'd have a bucket
I
of
do
rice.
that. That's insane.
You
Just,
would definitely have a bucket of rice.
A KFC sized bucket full of rice. How is that not your Chinese food answer?
I like a bucket of rice, but I like lo mein a lot.
Bucket
better.
of rice and chicken wings. Isn't that what he said before?
now. Yeah.
Now he can't even
mean,
get his story
yeah.
It's
straight.
always a go-to.
That's a good go-to,
Definitely
but that's
go-to.
Because we
more
asked
for
him,
a
what's your
family.
favorite Chinese food? He's like, chicken wings.
No,
Still
that
doesn't
is
make
what I
no
buy
damn
for the
sense.
family, not just for me myself being
Nonsense.
a lo mein. Lo mein.
I like lo mein.
All right.
So
Lo mein's
nothing wrong with
good.
that.
Oh, man, it's good. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question from Matthew Dawson. He says, what is your favorite boss fight ever?
Great question.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I would like to bring up a bunch of No More Heroes things, but that's like basically the game. It's hard to choose. Bad Girl and Shinobu and Henry and who knows? Fu. When I think of great boss fights, I don't think of like maybe like the most difficult boss fights that I overcame, which I think maybe some people do. When I think of boss fights, I think are like investment in a story, and the ones that jump out to me are like Ocelot, right? And like Metal Gear,
yeah.
like Metal Gear
that
had
was
a
a good
lot
one.
of great ones. And then the Old Crow from Death's Door, I always bring it up, but like that sold the game to me. I think the entire boss fight, like the journey that you go on to then find yourself in that moment and how that moment is portrayed. Like I was just
He
like,
was
man,
so mad.
See,
Can I
He was so mad.
cheat and say every boss fight in Lollipop Chainsaw?
yeah, I mean it's fine, you can, but is there one that's the thing with No More Heroes? It's like it's so hard to choose.
It like that's the thing. Like they're some of my favorite boss fights, but I can't pick and choose like a boss. If I had to pick, it would be I think the third one when you like rescue your sister.
My favorite, I think No More Heroes boss fights are really from Travis Strikes Again, which is crazy because they're not like the same kind of boss fights, but it's all of the story narrative that came out of those that make them very memorable to me. Like when I think of them, those are like the first ones I think of.
Mm-hmm.
So But the Metal
I
Gear
mean,
stuff, there's like 6 Metal Gear boss fights that are like
yeah.
very.
I gotta
memorable.
give like a honorable mention to Psycho Mantis because that
I
was
was
just
gonna
dope.
Yes, that's a
Psycho
good
Yeah,
one.
Mantis,
that was just
Metal
dope.
Gear, Big Boss. God, I think there's like 4 Ocelot fights that I'm like, and some of those gave me like real, arthritis in the knuckles.
My favorite boss fight is actually probably Atheon, the first Destiny boss. And it's mainly because like you could cheese him and there were so many just crazy shit you can do. And it was also more of the time period and how excited we were when we
Did you go mute for anybody
I
else but
agree.
me?
He
I
went
agree.
mute. He went
Yeah.
mute. I agree,
Keep
sir.
going.
I
Can't
agree.
hear you, Dev.
Very interesting. Riveting. This boss fight is riveting.
Nope.
Keep
Can't
going.
hear you. Keep going.
What about you, Delvin?
Riveting stuff.
My favorite boss, well, one of my favorite boss fights, the one I can think of off the top of my head is from Arkham Origins, Batman versus Deathstroke. I thought it was so cool how they did that in terms of like, it's just like, yo, it's how you want a fight with Deathstroke to go. Somebody who has the same abilities as Batman, you're going toe-to-toe, hand-to-hand combat, countering each other. Not like that bullshit they did in, what it was, Arkham Knight.
It was Arkham Knight where it's just a tank battle with them. It's so stupid.
Yeah, like, nah, that wasn't cool. But fighting Deathstroke, going hand-to-hand as Batman, that's what I want in a Batman fight. Like, this guy has the same abilities as Batman, can fight you just like that. I love that one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Counterplug, another good one. Mr. Freeze one is really good.
Yeah.
Arkham City has some great boss fights.
A lot of the fights in the Arkham series are great, except most of the ones in Night because they're usually done with the tank.
Yeah.
tank. The tank is stupid.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Do you know what happened?
My sound mixer just decided to crash. So
I'd love an Arkham Knight like remaster, like a next gen update.
There was a leak of that on like the Nvidia leak a while ago, so I'm hoping it comes.
Because it
away
it
90 of
feels
those trophies.
Older. Like even like when you go back to play it, it doesn't even hold up as well as like maybe some of the remasters do. So it'd be nice if we touched it up. I'd like to go back to it.
I wish they'd patch the remasters on to run at 60 frames per second on like on PS5 or Series X.
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely broken on PC. Like that Arkham Knight was so bad on PC.
Yeah, it was.
I may still have that statue that came with the game somewhere around my house.
I don't. I had to sell it.
It's a good statue.
But also, shout out to a game special edition, literally spoiling the ending of a video game right as you open the box.
Yeah, that was something.
It's about the journey, Haley.
Never saw that ending, by the way.
You what?
I never finished Arkham Knight.
Because you have to do the Riddler protocol to get all those stupid fucking trophies.
No, you can get the ending of the game. It's not
the true ending.
But the statue's not even in the game. It's just a promotional item connected to the game. It just spoils what happens to Batman.
Yeah, but you don't get to see the true ending unless you get all 500 of them stupid ass trophies. That is so fucking. I am still mad about that.
As you should be.
And it's also the true ending was not worth it. I promise you.
So I should just initiate Arkham Protocol and say fuck it.
Yes,
I might just do that. I have I want to say I have 200 of the trophies. I still play it to this day because I'm like, I'm gonna get this fucking true ending.
You realize you could initiate Nightfall Protocol and then go watch the true ending on YouTube instead of torturing yourself, right?
I might just do that because this is stupid.
You should just do that and be done with it.
The Riddler one. Fuck him.
We got 2 more questions and then we're getting out of here.
We gotta do Jordan's question, man. It's been in there for like 3 weeks.
I'm down with that.
Yep.
Oh, this F1 question?
Yep.
That only you can answer? On a scale of 1 to 10, how hyped are we for the start of
We could save
F1
it. Let's do your other questions.
To survive review? Answer
we'll do
so I don't have to worry about it later.
Nah, we'll do the other 2 questions first.
Mine's a 0.
Do Haley's question.
Haley, she wants to know who's playing Tiny Tina this week. Anybody?
Nope.
Nope. Unfortunately, probably not me either, because I don't think I can afford it. I'm stoked for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, though.
Delvin,
it looked fun. It looked fun. I've just never been into Borderlands.
Probably not because I'm playing what it's
Elden
called this
Ring.
week.
You ever gonna
Not
beat
Elden-
Horizon?
I'm gonna beat her. I'm still playing Horizon.
I'm gonna hold you to it. Every week you come and talk about a different game, not Horizon. I'm gonna keep bringing it up.
But this is the thing. I keep
Just
playing
know I'm gonna keep
Horizon
bringing
while
it
I'm
up.
playing it. I'm
Good.
moving along in Horizon, good. But I don't want to just keep talking about, well, I'm in this village now.
I just want you to be
Every week.
prepared. I want you to be prepared as you come. You're like, I'm gonna bring it up.
We need an update. Where are you in
What
Horizon?
level are you in Horizon?
Who'd you
anyway?
kill in Elden Ring?
I don't remember what level I am. I just did another one of those, what those things are called that you have to do?
The
cauldrons?
subroutine?
Level?
It
The
could be
cauldrons,
anything.
That's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Cauldrons? When you have to go free the
Yes,
free
there
the
there
He
are
says-
cauldrons. That
he
could be
says-
one of the things you're playing.
He said
Yeah.
he's still playing it.
Yeah,
Sketchy.
kind of.
Yeah.
All
Kinda
signs
sus over
point to
Delvin.
no.
I am playing it. And I am not pretty
What
far.
are those
I'm still
things
playing.
you do again? You
I
fight
don't know
the
what this crap
robots?
called. Yeah, you fight the robots. I got to this area where it's all covered in water and you have to save a bunch of people and stuff. That was cool.
He's really paying attention.
Yeah,
A whole lot of
totally.
attention.
He's invested.
Oh, okay. You
Focus.
got
Laser
the-
lined.
you got to Stilted Sands.
That's what it's called. I don't know.
He has no idea.
It's called something.
He's just like, look,
Yeah.
I'm just killing robo dinos. I don't know
Yeah, they
what the
told-
hell's going on.
They told me one of them guy was like, "Hey, you got to go way on the other side of the map."
Mhm.
I'm like, "What? Are you crazy?" I'm like, God.
You
Half the
realize
mission-
it's not really as far as it seems.
Exactly.
It is when they keep giving you side missions in front of it. Like, oh, I'm walking like, "Hey, we need help! Help us! Help
I
us!"
mean,
Like,
you could always
All right.
ignore the side missions.
I'm not a terrible person. I don't want to just ignore those people asking for help. I have to help them. The computerized people.
You do that in
I
real
mean,
life? Are
you-
you helping
you-
all these poor Floridians?
Yes, all the time. Now you think I got those Jordans? helping people senselessly for no reason. I live
then getting
like
pulled up by dudes with Uzis on a scooter.
I am a walking open world video game. Everywhere I
thought
go, I get side quests and shit.
I thought you were
That's
gonna
what
make
we
a
need.
Walking Dead joke there because you literally sound like one day you're just gonna have someone pull up on you and try to murder you.
Probably. I don't think
Somebody
they
needs to
should.
make Delvin the game. That's what we
Yeah,
need.
they
Delvin the video game.
They really should.
Call it Florida Quest.
Yes.
It's like Persona. He has a timer. He has to make his next podcast, but he's got to do all these missions before.
That's exactly how it feels.
He has to keep himself from getting fired from Cadillac on Mars.
Yeah, he's got like a calendar, and it's like you've got these 17 podcast appearances to make. But in between, then you got to handle these chores. You got to get to work. It's like it's just a Persona
Gotta
game.
kill these rats.
Yeah.
Gotta worry about
Something
this dude on the
happens.
Uzi. The guy with the Uzi is always creeping.
Somebody walks through
Oh,
a random side
man.
quest. Yeah. That's my life.
Hobos throwing shoes.
Yeah, that too.
Don't forget to
Oh,
eat
man.
buckets of chicken.
Gotta keep
Buckets
that
of
stamina
rice.
up.
hmm
Buckets of rice. Oh, all day. All day.
Yes.
Brings a whole new meaning to the Delving Cox experience, right?
That's the name of the game.
Okay, on that note, we're going to get the hell out of here.
We have a question. Did
that'll
anyone
do
answer the F1
Yeah,
question?
we still didn't do these other two questions. Can you do
He
these
doesn't
questions?
care about. He doesn't care about the
These
no,
two
no.
questions.
Give us the two
Fine.
questions.
We'll start with Jordan's question so we can get out of the way. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hyped are we for the start of F1 Drive to Survive review?
Those are two different
0.
questions. How hyped are we for the start of F1? 10. You all should be very hyped.
No, not at all.
0. Big fat 0.
I
All right.
just don't like racing.
5.
Okay. I didn't either. Like
No.
everybody knows I got into
No.
F1 early
No.
COVID. So this has been something I've been doing for a couple years now. Now listen to me. Seriously, heed this advice. Give Drive to Survive a chance. It's one of the best, and I'm not joking, and I'm not embellishing here. It's one of the best reality TV shows like available. And Haley, I think you'd love it.
That's not hard. to do.
Well,
It
here's
really
a
is.
question. Where can it be watched? Because I don't have
Netflix.
cable.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's one of Netflix's best original programs.
That's also not hard
Um,
to do.
What it does is it very much like Americanizes F1, which I think is the hurdle for most people. And here's the thing, though. You don't have to be a racing fan to enjoy it. My wife watches it with me, and she likes it, and she doesn't watch a race and doesn't give a shit. It's
Still, she loves
very...
you.
No, it's not. It's very dramatic. and it very much like raises like these rivalries, and you kind of root for these people over these people. It's got a lot to it. You guys should watch it. But the new season started last weekend. I watched it. It was amazing. The new regulations look great. All the new cars, like they're faster. They can pass. They can overtake better. I'm very excited. I would like to have more F1 fans with me.
I saw you retweeting a bunch of that, and actually, you were retweeting it when I went to my dad's for dinner, which I won't get into, but it went well, surprisingly. Anyways, my brother, like while we were waiting for dinner to finish cooking, he started throwing on like F1 YouTube videos, and I was just like, all right, I don't know what we're doing here. But
it has definitely become. I was never into racing. My dad actually always hated it because my dad's side of the family are from Georgia, and they're the southern folks. They love the NASCAR. And I always hated NASCAR. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I never got into racing.
Phrase to mute on Twitter. F1.
Yeah. I never got. Oh God,
good luck.
I hate you so much. I never got into NASCAR, but like when I got into, it was Drive to Survive early. And it was also like Seth, like learning about it early on from Seth, and then I found Drive to Survive when we had COVID because there was a point in time early COVID where I think we even talked about it on the show. I was just like, I had to find something to watch. Like I've been stuck in the house for so long. So I gave it a try. I watched the first season. Like, this show is amazing. So then I started, because I got into the show, I learned about the sport. I learned about the rules. So when I watched the race, one of the things that was very confusing before was I didn't know anything about F1. I was like, like you do when you don't know anything about it, you do the dumb thing. You're like, oh, who wants to watch a bunch of cars go in circles? But when you know what they're doing, right, it's way more entertaining. And the show gives you that education. And you know what the teams are doing, you know what's at stake, you know the rivalries. So once you do all that, then I really started to get into it. And then, as you guys know, for the last couple of years, I watch all the races, and then I watch Drive to Survive, and I just rewatched Drive to Survive for my review. Drive to Survive, Jordan, I didn't think this past season was the best one. They focused heavily on this big rivalry, which was important. That was the story, but I think they glossed over kind of a lot of the storylines throughout the season that I would have liked to see them do. But if anybody cares, I'm on Team AlphaTauri. You gotta have a midfield team, Dev. You can't just root for one of the kingpins. You gotta have a midfield team to root for, right? So
you are saying words.
The great thing about F1, Dev, is that you can get really, really excited to see your team finish fourth. Like you can get really excited.
It's cars. It's cars awesome. Driving around the track.
Cars.
We've talked about cars. I don't like cars.
No,
you like cars.
We have talked about cars.
I like the way cars look.
So
that's about the extent.
The F1 cars this year have a brand new look.
Those don't look cool.
You got new wheels. You got new rims. What are you talking about? No, they do corners at 195 miles per hour.
I don't give a fuck.
They're amazing machines. Marvels.
I believe it. I believe everything that you were saying. I believe all of the words coming out of your mouth, but I know it's not for me. Especially when you throw in the whole reality TV bit. No, signing off.
It's so good.
Sorry.
It's so
good.
I'm
glad you enjoyed
one of the best.
I'm glad
you
that
haven't even tried it.
Have found a newfound passion for you. I'm so glad
Destiny
that you found
so
this.
much. I hate Destiny so much.
And that's okay. And that's okay. And I accept your Destiny hate, and that's okay. That's why I don't talk about it. You don't want to hear it. I get it. But I'm very happy that you found this newfound love for F1 and racing, and you spend all afternoon waxing your car and all that. I'm so happy for you. Yeah.
What does that say?
It's AlphaTauri.
That's his team.
Yes. It's my midfield team.
I'm really happy for you that you found this, and you found this like newfound like joy. It's awesome. Like legit.
I wish I could share it with more friends. It'd be more fun if I could share it with more friends.
I'll check out your show, but I'm in the midst of rewatching The Boys, and that comes first because season 3 starts soon. So.
Haley, as much TV as you watch, you can find a way to fit this in.
Yeah,
you're watching a show right now. I promise. There's a show that you're watching.
I don't remember. I think it's season 2. You see one of the drivers who's no longer in the sport, Grosjean, literally drives right into a barricade and his car explodes like in a giant fireball.
Oh, like Speed Racer?
And the dude he gets out of it.
He gets out and walks away.
He gets out and like he's burned, broken hand and stuff, but like just witnessing it, it's such grand spectacle. And the show does such a good job of portraying the sport and teaching you all the ins and outs of the sport while also being entertaining. Because there's a lot of like backstabbing. It's very petty. It's extremely petty.
what I'm hearing from you is it's wrestling in cars.
Kinda, or at least the Drive to Survive is.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
kinda.
That's what I'm getting.
There's all
like you're
kinds
getting
of
like
backdoor dealings.
all of the fanfare.
you know, a
that you
driver
would
will
get
come
with
out and he's
wrestling,
like, "I
and then
love
a match.
He comes out, he's
Exactly.
like, I love McLaren. And the next week he's leaving McLaren in the middle of the season, and everybody's getting all up in arms about it, and everybody's upset. And then, you know, like these two drivers are rivals, and one of them puts the other one into a wall. And, you know, like it's a lot of that. That's why I'm saying, like, as a reality TV show, the TV show, even if you don't care about racing and you don't care about the sport, and you're like, I'm never going to watch it, the TV show on its own is still entertaining. Even if you never look, just because of the drama. I think it's one of the best. Honestly, I think it's one of the best. It's up there with like Stranger Things, like one of the best things Netflix has done. It's actually, and if you don't agree with me, it was #1 when it came out, and it charted on Netflix, which is a huge thing to do, right?
It is, yes.
They have greenlit like 3 other ones. They're doing a Drive to Survive for golf and for tennis. Like this is becoming a thing because it has become so popular. This Netflix show.
Charting on Netflix can save your show if it's in dire straits too. Like it's what got Lucifer its 6th season. It's what got Manifest its 4th season.
It's kind of like a phenomenon. This show.
Yeah.
90 Day Fiance.
I would never watch that. No, thank you.
My wife likes that show. It's,
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
it's another.
You meet someone and you get married in 90 days.
That sounds awful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
it's
I hate
just like
weddings.
the reality. There's no weddings, I don't think.
I mean, it's got to be right. If you
It's-
get married in 90 days.
Well, this says 90 Day Fiance. It doesn't say anything about
No.
90 day it doesn't say
No.
marriage.
They're your fiance. You get married in 90 days. I'm pretty sure that's the premise
Or
of the
you
show.
don't.
No, thank you.
Right.
Or you don't.
Yeah, I hate weddings.
What's that last question?
See, I was gonna save this for Elaine, but we'll go ahead and bring
Dude,
it.
nobody knows when that is. That
This
could
is
be
also
in
true.
2024 for all like
I'm
what's
holding
coming out
hope.
first? Like right, like is Fable coming out before Elaine gets back? Nobody fucking knows.
It's
Look,
true.
we love Elaine, but let's answer the
course.
question.
Yeah, like we can't do this forever, man.
If the sorting hat, well, this is from John 32. He
The
says,
hell
if
is
the
the
sorting
sorting
hat
hat?
was placed
It's
on
Harry
your
Potter.
heads,
Oh,
which
God.
house would you be placed in? Exactly. That's why I was waiting
I
for
got
that because I
nothing.
know you don't know. You got nothing.
I will allow you to answer for me.
I've only seen
You're
the first
Slytherin.
movie, so I know what houses are.
You absolutely know what houses there are. You
Yeah, because I saw the first movie. They expressed that in the first movie.
The state
Donnie
of
would
play
be
came out
Slytherin.
after the last show, like last week, right? It was the next day.
the state of play did come
yeah, I
out the
think
day
so.
after.
How did
yeah.
you guys like the thing?
So
I didn't
Delvin
watch
and
it.
I are going to talk about it extensively this weekend
Oh,
when we
well, then
record.
definitely don't talk about it here. You can't
Yeah.
possibly talk
Um,
about it on 2 podcasts.
I mean,
That'd be-
no, we
fucking
could.
insanity.
However, I will bring up that someone called.
They invited her here to my show. I asked her a
Yeah.
question, and her
I know.
response was, "Well, we're not going to talk about your show. We're
No.
gonna talk about our
I
other
will
show."
answer. I will answer your question.
Wow.
I will
Just tell
answer your
him- just
question.
tell him the truth,
I'm
Ellie.
just stating.
Wow.
I'm stating that Delvin and I are like Delvin specifically wanted to.
I know what
record
I'm
to get
doing the
my
next time I
opinion
go
on
to PSXP. 100%.
I'm not going to talk about that here. You want to hear more from me? Check out.
Okay,
Yeah.
relax.
Good job, Haley. I appreciate that.
Anyways, someone called me out. I won't name names. For being,
It was
I
Kyle.
guess it was not Kyle. It
Still
was
always
someone
Kyle.
else. Okay, we'll say Kyle, but it wasn't. I'm not going to name names.
He
Uh,
named names.
Someone called me
Well,
out
if you're
for
not going to
being
name names. It was
hypocritical
definitely Kyle.
for wanting to buy this but not supporting other things. I will say I no longer want to buy this game. It is blood libel. Like it is literally the plot of this game is now entirely anti-Semitic. It is. Ooh, boy.
What? No, it's not.
Yes,
How
it
is that
is.
possible.
The
I
entire
didn't even
plot.
see this, and I'm like, I don't believe you.
The
How?
entire plot of this game is to stop a
How?
goblin uprising based on these goblin creatures, which are based off of anti-Semitic stereotypes.
What?
The goblins are based on.
Anti-Semitic
What?
stereotypes, yes.
Okay.
Damn it.
So basically, anytime
But there's-
anything
there's-
has to do
Haley,
with money,
at some point,
it's
there's too much
anti-Semitic.
wokeness.
Okay.
I can't even spell.
Anti-Semitism is
Sem-
it's anti-Jewishness. That's what it is.
Goblins.
No, he's looking it up.
Oh,
Yeah, he's looking it up, and it just sounds nonsensical.
Hogwarts Legacy accused of using an anti-Semitic trope with a goblin plot. Okay, people, sometimes you take things just way too damn far. Okay?
I'll read into it.
Jesus.
Now that you say it, I'll read into it and see. I want to be informed, but
Some have interpreted.
The goblins run the bank, and they're going against the goblins way back in the day. I don't understand why we have to automatically always associate anything with money with Jews. I do not understand that.
You should look into that. I'm not getting into that. There's a very big reason.
I'm not gonna. This is the game. It's goblins. It's goblins.
I don't want to comment until we on PSX.
It's goblins. It's a made-up world full of goblins and magic. Can it just be that?
Yeah,
we can never just.
That's what I was
thinking.
That. Like, you can't. People always have to have. I don't know, like a cause. Like, why do we always have to be an activist?
I just want to play things.
Are there Jewish groups saying this, or is this just fans of Twitter?
No, there are Jewish people calling this game out.
Not people. I don't want this one person that you know is Jewish who said it. Are there Jewish groups?
I am specifically saying Jewish groups, yes, and it's not just on Twitter. It's on TikTok. It's on Tumblr. Like it's all over the internet. They are calling it out. Yes,
it still exists. Tumblr still a thing.
Yeah,
I will say this: no matter what happens, this game is going to be marked with controversy, whether this was in the game or not. So. I don't want to say I'll take it with a grain of salt, but
this article has Jon Stewart reaching out for comment.
What?
In a video posted to Twitter, Jon Stewart clarified his comments, saying, "I do not think J.K. Rowling is anti-Semitic. I did not accuse her of being anti-Semitic. I do not think Harry Potter is anti-Semitic."
Oh, the Daily
so apparently
Show?
He said something that was he was taken out of context. Oh my God.
Oh God. Okay. All right, in the podcast,
if we're gonna do that, everything is anti-something at this point, so don't play anything.
I'm sure you could draw lines if you wanted to. Like, if you wanted to try hard, you could.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that's a bummer. I thought when I was on Twitter that people were saying that they liked whatever was being shown.
Oh, there are plenty of people saying they like it. There are also plenty of Jewish people expressing concern with the plot of this game.
Like I said, this game is going to be...
The thing is, the only people drawing those lines are them. And the thing is, if you're not anti-Semitic, you're not drawing those lines and you're not even thinking about that. You're playing a game that's in Hogwarts, that you're trying to be a wizard. Like, that's it.
Again, the goblin anti-Semitism issue goes back further than Harry Potter, as noted by John in the comments there. Like it's been a long.
No, I saw that there is like a
and that's my thing.
Propaganda of cartoon characters.
Anytime there's money,
anytime
there's money, we're just gonna automatically find a parallel, find a line to draw, which I think is absolutely.
Since you don't want to look it up, I'll explain, because it used to be the only jobs that Jewish people could get. That's why it's drawn back to Jewish people anytime money is.
So I guess
I appreciate that the question was about this damn hat going on our heads, and we got here.
Well, because Donnie asked about the state of play.
It was about the hat.
I just want to know if you like the game.
What part of the house we were going to be on?
I mean,
that was the question.
The game looked good, and then all of this, and I was like, no.
Well, my answer is I've never played this damn game because I don't know anything about Harry Potter.
Me and my daughter thoroughly enjoy Harry Potter. I might get it and play it with her. This may be something that we do together. As far as the sorting hat. What are
the hats? You wear hats?
No, it's one hat, and it decides which house you go into.
There's one hat?
Talks.
Yeah,
the hat
it
talks.
It's sentient.
Let me look up what the
the sorting hat. Your first year at Hogwarts, everybody goes in the sorting hat. They put the hat on you. It talks to you, tries to figure out who you are, what you're about, and then it puts you in a house.
You go to witch school and you talk to a hat?
The hat talks to you. The hat talks to you. You don't talk to the hat.
Does it come visit you in your room or something?
No,
everybody's in a line. You go sit down on the stool. The hat gets placed on you. It talks to you, tells you
everybody
about
hears what
yells
the hat
out of
says
house.
to you.
Yes, everyone hears what the hat says to you, and the only person who has successfully convinced the hat to not place them in a house is Harry Potter.
Okay.
Harry, the house
was put him in Slytherin.
Special.
Yeah. No, not Slytherin.
Sounds like a horror movie script or something. We've got,
Sounds
this
like a bunch of shenanigans and
We've got
tomfoolery
this-
and magic, right?
We've got this talking hat.
Yes.
And put it on your head. It might kill you. It might not. It's like some soft
We've
shit.
also got goblins and dragons
That
and
hate Jews.
trolls and giants and all kind of other craziness. You got brooms and witches, spells, curses,
So
tomfoolery.
people can understand, the Sorting Hat was a sentient magical hat at Hogwarts that determines which of the 4 schoolhouses each student belongs to. The 4 houses are Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. So that's what it does. It tells you which house you belong to.
Yeah, which houses are you guys?
And the houses
I
are
would
based on
be-
your personality.
I would be Gryffindor. You are definitely Slytherin, Donnie. I would say Dev is probably
that mean?
Ravenclaw.
Am I on the pro Jew side?
But no, that's
Which
not
one
even
hates-
what that
which one hates
was.
the Jews.
Apparently, all of them.
Oh, they all
because
hate the Jews.
they must, because if all of the houses are going against this Goblin Revolution, they must all hate them, right? I believe when I took the little quiz thing, it put me in the oh god,
He didn't even know.
Gryffindor. That's where it put
So you're
me.
both Gryffindors.
Mm-hmm.
Delvin, what are you?
I don't know. I'm looking up the Harry Potter houses now. So
Well, why would
because
you?
each house means certain different things.
Yes,
Like,
it does.
If I
Donnie,
remember
the reason-
correctly,
the reason-
Hufflepuff is like compassionate.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Gryffindors are brave and something like that.
Brave, headstrong.
Look at
a
you
bunch
two.
of other
Heroes.
stuff.
Ravenclaw is like
That
cunning,
sounds
I want
cool.
to say.
Cunning, smarts. There's a bunch of like descriptions for it. Donnie's
Ravenclaw.
Slytherin
Hufflepuff.
because of the. I'm trying to think of the. I can't remember the classification for it. Yeah, Delvin fits that. Yes,
I've been judged.
you have not
You
been
have
judged.
been by the
can't
Sorting
even-
Hat.
You can't even remember why.
Hold on.
You just said so.
Hold on. I'm gonna ruin my Google search history just for this. Ambitious, cunning, strong leaders, achievement oriented. You.
Which one is that?
Yeah,
That's
which one's that?
Slytherin. That's Slytherin. That's
Yeah.
you.
I am not achievement
Slytherin.
oriented.
No, but you're-
Slytherin
you fit
and
the rest
and,
of it.
and Gryffindor are like, it can go either way really easily.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You might almost be Gryffindor, to be perfectly honest.
I like you guys in your witchy zodiacs.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah, it's cool. It's
I've
awesome.
only seen the first
I
movie.
mean,
That's how they-
if you want to choose a house based on colors, that's real weird. Gryffindor's like red and orange, and then the rest of the houses are like one color and white. So like Slytherin's green and white, or like green and silver.
I hate
Technically,
the color green. It's my least favorite color.
Hufflepuff is like yellow and silver, and Ravenclaw is blue and silver. And
See, I would be
that-
I
Ravenclaw.
thought Ravenclaw was purple.
no, it's blue.
It's purple's my favorite color. Yeah, now we're talking.
I would be. I want to go. Where's the purple team? Can I just?
Yeah,
We
that's
can
what I
buy
was
the hat
just
by
about
the
to say. Who's on the purple team?
Let's
There
just-
isn't a purple
the
team.
Then it's
You
not
know what,
good.
Donnie? We're making
Damn
one, all right?
straight.
We're making a purple team,
Okay.
and that's where we're going. All right.
Maybe the goblins.
Yeah, there you go. We're the
I
Goblin
was gonna
team.
say
Team
call the
Goblin.
purple team
Let's go.
Cats Meow. Because Donnie like cats and the cats go meow. There you go.
What? Which team has cats?
He's
No,
literally. He's literally.
no. We're gonna call it the Ducks or something like that, like Darkwing
Yeah.
Duck. He rocks purple. Let's fucking
He was
go.
literally
Yeah.
making a cat's meow joke.
There you go.
Like,
Cats
that's
Meow
what-
team. There you go.
Oh my
Cat
God.
Ducks.
Okay,
See? It's
Cat
working.
Ducks.
we gotta go. We're
Cat
done here. Your nonsense.
What a
You
show.
put, the
What a
hat,
ride.
you put the hat on. It
Cat
says
Ducks.
Especially the
Cat
last 20
Ducks.
minutes.
2 hours long.
Can we mute him? Can we mute him, please? Just
We can,
stop
yeah.
his nonsense.
There. Oh, I muted Dev.
Wrong one of us. Come on.
He's losing it. He's losing it over there.
Elaine, you see what I put up with? Come back.
On
You
my
see what, you see what
on
I
my,
put up
on
with?
my on my little
I
widget
didn't
here,
know
you guys are right next to each other. I clicked on the
This
wrong one.
is funny.
He's got like 30 words in his name.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
I've got
On,
just one.
on the widget, you don't see any of that.
Oh,
Yeah, you just see the image, right?
Yeah.
You
that
just
was the
see-
And it's
greatest
got
thing in the
overlays
world.
all over it. It's like on screen, hide on screen. There's like buttons and stuff. It's hard to see. Plus, I also like minimize it, so it's really small.
Hmm.
Okay, well, we're gonna go. This
Yeah.
has been episode 29.
Who cares?
Yes, it is
The
episode
Play Some
29.
Video Games podcast. It has been a hell of a ride. We thank you if you actually stuck around this long. And if you enjoy our shenanigans, please check us out on Twitter at PSVG, over on YouTube at PSVG. And you know what? Come to our Discord and just try to woo Donnie back. Just
Not
try
doing
to
it.
Bring him back.
Boycott the Hogwarts game. Stand for something, people. Stand for something.
Oh my God.